Okay. Thank you.
So when you get into the car, put a seatbelt on,
Okay.
select the destination, and then start the ride.
Okay.
All right.
As soon as I buckle up, the door closes. Select a destination. How about this? New York. Why not? Okay. Okay. No rear view mirror. No steering wheel. No pedals. A lot of people watching. Goes around the corner. Wow. No AC controls are probably on the touchscreen. There's no window controls. Stopped at a stop sign. Shows trip progress at the top. Just watch a movie, I guess.
Wow.
This looks like probably about a 24-inch screen, maybe.
Any idea where I can find them?
Wow.
New police.
Cybertruck police car. Okay.
I would much prefer that. to
Traffic
that.
jam. Going around the traffic jam. Looks like this is our destination. Okay. So we could hit stop ride here. And then if we hit open,
New York.
thank you.
Yeah. Do you guys mind? Yeah, just definitely.
You got it.
All right, guys. There is so much that happened yesterday. That's one part of it. Oh, here. We don't need that intro. We normally do that intro. We'll skip that today. All right. I won't lie. I haven't had a ton of sleep. The event was crazy. Didn't even go to bed till after midnight. And right now, my time, it is about 7 a.m. I've been up since about 5. So definitely probably gonna sleep after this, maybe. But yeah, there's so much stupidity right now that I'm hearing from everyone. Good morning, David. Good morning, sir. Austin. Tesla is the company that just keeps giving. Elon has showed us the future and even made the stock cheaper for us to buy. Yes, it is a gift. And I'm sure I'll get shit on by people today because I said it was a buy the news event. I still think it should be. But if we know anything about investing, or maybe you're new and you don't understand investing really well and you just operate off of headlines of the day, this is something you need to learn. Short term, the markets are a voting machine and there's a lot of stupidity in it. It's about narratives and just idiocy, right? So things can be incredibly overbought. They can be incredibly oversold. People can miss the point. They can think they can take something and think that it's off. Oh, and here, this is a perfect example. Real quickly, Let's just refresh this and see what the idiots at CNBC are saying. Let's do that. One sec here.
Third quarter net interest income was down by 11% versus last.
This will make my point. I have no doubt. Just let's see what they're saying, and then I'll show you what's real about Tesla in this event last night and why you should be incredibly excited for what just happened.
Year that stock's up by about 3.5%. And then you've got BlackRock also beating profit and revenue expectations.
One sec here.
Assets under management at the firm grew to nearly $11.5 trillion. That is the third straight quarterly record high. And that.
Get ready for moron comments coming about Tesla and Elon Musk. Here they come, guys. Let's see how stupid they get.
Concept car, but shares of Tesla, they're falling in the pre-market this morning. Several Wall Street analysts teams voicing disappointment with the event held last night at Warner Brothers' studio near Los Angeles, designed with no steering wheel or pedals. Musk showing off what he hopes Tesla says can be producing what's called a cyber cab before 2027. But as we know, as a CEO, Musk has said, and
all right, so he's going to talk about timelines. But here's the deal: Elon Musk changed it during the show. He said it's 2026, but since everybody gives me a hard time about timelines, we'll say 2027. So he adjusted it further back to account for his delay. But on here, it's going to be spun as, it's going to be much later than that.
And said it last night that he is sometimes overly optimistic about.
So they're trying to say that he's overly optimistic about 2027, which is misrepresentation of the facts.
Some of those projections. Here's Elon Musk unveiling the robotaxi.
You can think of the car in an autonomous world as being like just a little lounge. You're just sitting in a comfortable little lounge, and you can do whatever you want while you're in this comfortable little lounge. And when you get out, you will be at your destination. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
We should note that former President Trump made some news on EVs yesterday, speaking at the Detroit Economic Club a few hours before Musk's event. Trump called the idea of autonomous cars, quote, a little concerning. Meantime, Musk gave a few other updates as Tesla, saying that he expects to have unsupervised full self.
Look at this bullshit. So already now they're trying to turn this A into a political thing, and B, make it look like Trump doesn't think that, like, he's concerned about this and that this is a negative.
Self-driving, up and running in Texas and California. He says next year in the company's Model 3 and Model Y cars.
No, you fucking idiot. You're literally taking the highlights. He said all of them. The Cybercab will be out in 2026, worst case, early 2027, and all of the cars, including the Cybertruck. He didn't say it well, but all of them will have the ability to be able to autonomously and without anyone supervising them in the state of Texas and California will be able to drive on the road where there's regulatory jurisdiction. So he's saying literally next year we will have autonomous vehicles that aren't the Cybercab, all the others that will be able to drive unsupervised. He literally told us last night that we will all of our cars, whether it's legal or not, will be able to drive unsupervised this next year. All of them. Oh, people are so fucking stupid. It just boggles my mind.
He also says the company has made progress on its Optimus robot and that the helper could
No shit. Do you even know that it can talk to you? Fucking CNBC moron.
eventually be priced at $20,000 to $30,000.
Futures have been moving around a little bit. We do have an important number coming at 8:30. We got the Dow off a little bit again, back.
All right, so guys, we've got economic data today too. We got stuff coming out at 7:30, so that's about 25 minutes from now. We got another round of data coming out at 9. The real big stuff is going to be the PPI, right? Everybody wants to know what's happening with that. We'll be going over all of that. We're going to step away from the CNBC morons for a minute, though, and show you the reality of what happened last night for people who actually give a shit about the future and want to see it, okay? And want to see what they're doing now on top of all the other amazing things that this company is doing. Here's the inside of the RoboVan. Can you imagine this? This thing can seat over 20 people. So you could have 20 people sitting in this thing in a city. When it comes out, I don't even give a shit. You know why I don't care? Because Optimus can sing happy birthday to you. And there's people like, are you sure these aren't remotely controlled? I don't know. The lady literally said, when asked from Omar, from Omar's catalog, He said, Optimus can talk? And what did she say? Yes, he can talk and he can do sign language. But people are like, hey, do you think it's remote controlled? I don't have the patience for this. I really don't.
Good job. Thank you so much. You literally had like dozens of Optimus robots. You had autonomous vehicles driving everywhere in this thing last night. Over 50 vehicles driving around. They showed you the Cybercab, the Cybervan. They showed you what the future is going to look like when we get rid of all the parking lots and just maybe have 1 or 2 mega ramps across different parts of the city where these things just drive around all the time, like 5 to 10 times more than they do right now. And then they just had Optimus robots talking to people, serving them drinks, dancing, and walking around amongst the crowd. And that's not impressive enough for you motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I'm in rare form today. I'm low on sleep, and I don't have time for stupidity.
It's my birthday.
That's Optimus talking to this motherfucker. Let me go back here. That's literally Optimus talking to this guy.
It's your birthday. My birthday. I'm not just going to tell you happy birthday. I'm going to sing you happy birthday, sir. What is your name? I'm Chad. Chad? Yes. All right, everyone, let's all sing happy birthday together while I dance.
Yeah, baby.
Do it. Birthday.
Do you guys remember that this was a person in a dancing fucking suit not too long ago? And now we got like the 5th iteration of this robot. It's even different than the last time I saw it.
To you, happy birthday to you. Yes, that was his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, I don't know what people are looking for. I don't know what they're looking for. People's expectations are just astonishing to me. Who the fuck else is doing any of this? Who is doing any of this? Can you guys please tell me? What other company is anywhere close to what we're looking at right now? This is like, you know what happened? You know what happened when the Apple iPhone was released? You know what happened the next day? You would think that would be transformational and people would get it right away. You know what happened to the Apple stock the next day? It crashed. It like dropped. It went down. It went down because the narrative the next day was, who's going to want to get rid of their physical buttons on their BlackBerry? This other thing is just, nobody wants that. It's too expensive. The CEO of Microsoft was shitting on the iPhone, saying nobody's going to spend $600 on a phone. What happened after that? What happened after that? I don't have a lot of patience for stupidity today. It blows my mind how dumb people are. And so here, I said, focus on the 5-year performance of Tesla's chart. This isn't complicated. This is with everything being shit for the last 4 years because morons bought a stock that had a PE ratio of 1100. Now, I'm sorry. If that was you, I'm sorry for calling you a moron. But here's the deal. It's time to learn. It's time to wake up. It's time to put on your big boy fucking pants or girl pants, okay? When you don't know what you're doing, you need to learn. And if you're buying Tesla stock when the PE ratio is 1100 and I'm selling all of my stock, you're doing something wrong. Okay? But that isn't Tesla's fault. Tesla has still been outperforming everything. Everything. Every company they're doing better than as far as growth. They're destroying their competition. They're at least a half a decade ahead of most areas. And you know how we know this? Because SpaceX delivers 90% of the payload mass for the entire Earth to space. Not just for this country, but compared to the world. And again, I'm sorry your timing sucked. I'm sorry your timing sucked. If your timing sucked, I'm sorry for you. If you have no patience, I'm sorry for you. But sell your shit and go away. I don't have time for this shit today. Elon said over 50 years, you might drive 500,000 miles. Our global fleet collectively does that every 3.5 minutes. Look at this. This is the fleet driving around. This is the fleet driving around. Okay? This is the fleet driving around. Watch this.
There's signal here.
So one of the reasons why the computer can be so much better than a person is that we have millions of cars that are training.
Try and crank this up.
On driving. So it's like living millions of lives simultaneously and seeing very unusual situations that a person in their entire lifetime would not see. But hopefully, yeah, exactly. So so with that amount of training data, it's obviously going to be much better than what a human could be, because you can't live a million lives. And it's also, it can see in all directions simultaneously, and it doesn't get tired or text or any of those things. So it will naturally be, like I said, 10, 20, 30 times safer than a human, just for all those reasons. And I want to emphasize that the solution that we have is AI and vision. So there's no expensive equipment needed. So the Model 3 and Model Y and S and X that we make today will be capable of full autonomy unsupervised. And that means that our cost of producing the vehicle.
And that starts in 2025 in Texas, they said, in Florida. They will be able, you'll literally be able to deploy this thing unsupervised. And cities that allow allow this to occur unsupervised, you'll be able to have your cars picking people up, dropping them off in Texas and California and maybe other parts of the country, but that's where they're starting. That's not insane. That's not insane. Cybercab in 2026, maybe 2027. That's not insane. Optimus can speak to you right now. He can dance and he can serve you drinks. And he's going to replace all of human labor. That's not insane?
Is low. Now, we are going to actually overspec the computer for the Cybercab. So our AI5 computer.
Oh, sorry, I hit the button. We'll skip that one anyway. But essentially, they're gonna do a great job with this machine. And there's a bunch of other videos I want to show you. Look at the hand right now. Look at the hand and just how amazing it is and how much it's changed. This thing is better than a human hand. It's like it can do anything. When combined with the arms and everything else, you could have these things turn around completely. Like, it's insane. It's like, it reminds me of the Addams Family. It's so weird. All right, let's keep going here. Again, the UI. This is so cool. The set they built last night was phenomenal. But just the UI and interface and everything that you're going to be able to do. But let's keep going. Again, the Cybercab, or the Cybervan. People are like, oh, this isn't impressive.
Oh, no. What? No way!
People there seem pretty impressed.
What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than the What? The Tesla van is. We're going to make this, and it's going to look like that.
Oh my God! Of course they're going to make this.
And you see this coming towards you.
So again, you have the perception of people, and again, the presentation about halfway through, the sound kind of stopped. They started almost an hour late because there was a medical emergency, and God knows what else was happening. And Elon's delivery, like when he was talking about the FSD part and being available in Texas, unsupervised in Texas and California, and next year, literally this next year, in a couple of months, we'll be in the year where this stuff is happening. It was delivered very poorly. He was talking about the Model 3 and the Model Y, but then later he corrected himself and said, yeah, the S, the X, and the Cybertruck all also obviously have all this. So he didn't present well. He was very autistic yesterday. So Wall Street cares about that. That's what they care about. That's why the stock's down 6%. I care about this. And I keep saying I care about the actual signal, not the noise.
Model Y.
So again, and there's so much, I even love the look of this thing. The back is like, whatever. It's kind of like my Cybertruck. But the front and the sides of this thing are so badass. And under $30,000, no steering wheel, no pedals. You just press buttons to get in and get out. You choose your destination, just like the preview video. I think this thing looks kick-ass. And again, Optimus can talk to you. And then they showed, I want to find this part of the presentation. They showed how Optimus literally starting next year for production, for like working in ramp production, is going to be and they're shooting for 25,000, I think they said. Again, they reiterated that same price target, is going to be able to serve you drinks, cook your food, clean your house, mow your lawn, whatever it needs to do. It will do everything for you and replace human labor across the entirety of the planet. And he's already told us there could be 3 or 5 robots to every human being in the future, as we create an age of abundance where nobody goes without and everybody can have everything they want. I know this is hard to grasp. I get it. I get that part. I get that the people can't fathom this because they've only known one thing. I get it. Okay? I get it. But just because it's hard to fathom doesn't mean it isn't happening now, right now. And I got more bookmarks here, but we're going to have to go back over. It looks like I don't know. Sometimes, or maybe I didn't refresh. You got to refresh too. Otherwise it doesn't work right. But there's more things I want to show you. And there's a couple of videos that you need to see. Okay. Let's see. There's more talking ones. There's the one with Omar saying Optimus can talk. You got to see that one. And again, right here, this is great. Again, this is what they were showing last night. Not impressive at all. Not impressive. There's like 100 companies doing this right now, right? It's like 100 companies that are showing you robots taking in your groceries. There's so many companies that are doing that have the proven track record of building this stuff, and are telling you that they're going to do it next year.
I think this will be the biggest product.
So to be clear, the Tesla, the $27,000 Cybercab, he said is 2026, but then to counter expectations of him being late, said 2027. So when he says that number, you shouldn't add time to it.
Product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe 2, and then there'll be.
I mean, in the future, you wouldn't have a tax advisor. What would be the point? You could just talk to an AI like Grok, which will be a part of Optimus, which is right now, and it could just do your taxes for you. Just feed it the files, and it will do it all. There's no tax advisors in the future.
Producing products and services.
Literally, every job in humanity could be replaced. The only ones that won't is stuff like this, like what I'm doing right now. My job is the future, guys. It's people communicating on X and maybe YouTube if they're still around, talking about the things they love and that they're passionate about and that they understand well, and or just shooting the shit about little niches and things of interest. This is the job of the future. Outside of this, there really don't need to be anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. Anything with a personal touch, like let's say you go and you want to get some food somewhere, you're going to pay a premium to have a waiter instead of having robots, right? You're going to want to be able to communicate with that waiter, especially over the shorter terms. So there will be jobs that pay a premium because a person is doing it and you like people. But outside of that, you don't need human beings for jobs anymore. It's over. That's literally the path we're heading down.
I predict, actually, provided we...
Yeah. Love the no CPA idea, right? Let's get rid of all the fucking accountants.
Address risks.
Sorry for all the people that are accountants.
Of digital superintelligence. 80% probability of a good outcome. Look on the bright side.
See, he sucks at presentation.
80% full.
But I love him.
The cost of products and services will decline dramatically. And
can you gamble in the stock market in the future? Yes, that will be one job that will exist. You know why? Because there will still be people that push out information like what we're going to see all day today. And then it'll slowly change in the days ahead, okay? Doctors won't be replaced. That's not true either. That's not true either. You know why I know that? Because before my last series of jobs, this was like over 10 years ago. I was an intern as a project management department for a major medical system in the Midwest, huge company, and that has hospitals like all over the region. And I watched a robot literally doing work and repairing. Now, don't get me wrong, that one wasn't autonomous, but they could do a better job. These Optimus robots will be able to easily replace doctors in the future. If nothing else, the doctor will supervise the surgery and then take over manually if they need to, but they'll be totally replaceable. Doctors are one of the easiest things to be able to replace in the future for surgeries and things that will need precision, and you don't want to have somebody like surgeons and stuff for sure. And then again, just even doctors are so, I don't want to say dumb, especially if you guys are in here, but just think about this. The human brain can only hold so much information. People give symptoms all the time. There could be correlations between a bunch of different systems that aren't caught easily by a doctor who is overworked and told to push drugs and x-rays and whatever other kind of blood tests and things so that they can get it, so that they can, up the amount of revenue that the hospital system makes from the visit. You need to have at least like hey, let's do some blood work because of the thing that you talked about. Let's prescribe you a medication. If they do that, they get paid so well. And that's their objective. That's what they're told to do. And so these guys are overburdened and they have no recourse for this stuff. Like they're like robots doing their job. Even the ones that want to really help, they just don't have that much time and they've got goals to meet, okay? So you can easily replace these people with an AI that can look at your entire medical record and be like, whoa, remember that time you said this, and now you're talking about this and this and this, and based upon the timeline of this particular disease or cancer or whatever, I'm worried. There's things happening here that are just too closely correlated with this. We need to do this. And a doctor would miss that. So they're easily replaced in the future. Everything is going to be easily replaced in the future. I hope you guys realize that. Let's keep going down here. Again, just like, look at this. This is the Optimus Can Talk one. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. I want you guys to hear this. Let me zoom out just a little bit so we can get it all on the screen here. But this is so cool. This is Omar realizing that the future is here, okay?
Elon, he's a techno king.
All right, 1 second. Gotta turn this down. That's the robot.
Optimus can talk?
Yeah. He also does sign language.
Hey Optimus, what's up?
How's it going, man? Join the party?
What do you think of the new Cybercab?
Cybercab looks amazing.
I know.
I'm trying to get a ride.
Dude, me too.
Elon.
You can actually see the sense of humor that this thing has from Grok. You can see it. You can see it. He can talk. He can talk. And she said that he can do sign language and he can talk to you. And people are immediately like, oh, that's too hard to comprehend. So it's got to be people remotely controlling it because that's what Nikola did when they rolled the semi down the fucking hill and said that it was in motion. It's like, I'm sorry, Tesla doesn't do party tricks. They don't. They don't. Ooh, interesting. A little bit later here, we'll probably cut over to Nubank. We're hearing a bunch of conversations here about Latin America and banking. That might be interesting, but let's keep going. I don't want to miss all this. There's so much to talk about. Let me see if I can find it all. My bookmarks still aren't showing well. I just need to go through my feed, I guess. Pissing me off, but whatever, we'll do it. There's so much good stuff that came from this, guys. There's so much good stuff. I'm going to try and get caught up in chat, too. Doug Frenchak, that's not that big of a deal. What's not that big of a deal? I believe that the Optimuses, they were remotely controlled and not acting, speaking autonomously. Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? Because it's too hard to comprehend that they might be walking and talking on their own? This person literally said that he could speak and that he could do sign language. That implies that he is doing that and that it's not a remote controlled person behind the scenes that happens to know sign language. So you guys are literally saying when you say that Tesla is committing some kind of fraud, trying to pretend like they're able to do things that they're not. Now, if Elon says that, great. If he's like, oh yeah, we remotely controlled them, then I'd believe it. But I won't otherwise. It doesn't make any sense. They've never like faked it like this unless they've clearly said like, oh, hey, we're just showing you how it works. So I don't know. I don't believe that. Maybe I'll be wrong. I don't believe it. And either way, does it matter? Because Grok right now is one of the smartest AIs in the world. And Elon said by the end of this year, Grok 3.0 will be the smartest by like 10, 15 different comparable metrics for AI. This is the leading AI company in the world. It's not Palantir. It's not ChatGPT. It's this company. This one. I hope you guys realize that. I hope you don't operate off of emotion. And I might sound emotional, okay? I get hyped up and I get super fucking excited. That's legit. That's totally real. I hear that argument. But yeah, this is something you guys need to be excited. Here's old school Galley. Galley is the guy that used to go on CNBC back in 2016, 17, along with people, crazies like Kathy Wood, trying to talk to people about Tesla before it went up 3,200%. You need to listen to this. Do I think this is where it bottoms? Yes. I don't even know why we're as low as we are right now. It's stupidity. I think smart investors are buying right now. The other people aren't, but smart investors are buying. And I don't even think some of these people know that optimists can talk. CNBC certainly wasn't talking about it.
What up, Hyperchange?
Listen to this.
It's 1 a.m. in Brooklyn. I'm tired. This is like my 5th time we're trying to record this video. I just watched the Tesla event on the TV. It was absolutely insane. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm in shambles right now because I wasn't at the event. I'm in freaking Brooklyn and it looked so insane. That's just to frame up how insane this event was. Like, they came out with the mini looking Cybertruck.
Galley for a while was really like down on Tesla. He just wasn't excited about it anymore for years, right? Once it got up to the tops and he made a bunch of money, he started to lose interest in it. And I don't blame him. When the PE was 1,100, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. He's like, I should move on to other things. I got a 30 bagger. Like, I'm good. I get it. But he's back now, and that should send you a real signal.
It's going to be the taxi on Uber and Lyft. Okay, it's coming in 2026. People are going to complain about the timeline, but we saw it.
Yeah, exactly. Alex says you could literally talk to Siri. Do you think Optimus can't talk yet? Delusional. I 100% agree. And Siri's fucking stupid, but Teslas have a brain, guys. If you don't understand how full self-driving works, they have a brain, and it's so much smarter even than a year ago. And the robot can literally, it's Grok. It's Grok in a human form. That's all it is. I love how, you know what makes me laugh? There's that Figure AI or whatever the fuck they are, that stupid robot company. People are happy to believe that that is real and that they're ahead of Tesla. I know plenty of people that think that. And they're completely wrong. Tesla is the leader. You think that the Tesla robot can talk, but you don't think that the Figure AI robot, I don't know, I didn't hear anybody say like, oh, the Figure AI robot wasn't talking. They were all super stoked about it. But for the Tesla one, they're like, oh, it can't be real. Can't be real. It's just Tesla, guys. It's just Elon Musk who does all this amazing shit that nobody else can do on Earth. And he's done it in short order. And he delivers all the time. All the time. So it obviously isn't real.
It's going to happen. Tesla makes the impossible happen late. It's going to happen again with this. I remember when I was at the Model Y event in 2019, I thought that was a letdown. Everyone said that wasn't going to happen. Everyone said that was BS.
To be clear, Optimus can speak everything. Yeah, he's Jarvis and Iron Man all in one. Very true, Oak.
At the time, which is funny now because it's the best-selling car in the world. I love it. That's what I feel like this event. It's going to be late. Everyone's going to talk shit about it tomorrow.
Listen to that. Listen to what he's saying. There's so much signal here. He said the Model Y, everybody was talking shit about. Everybody was talking shit about the Model Y. We're going to look at something real quick. You got to see this, okay? You just got to think about this, guys. After the 3 event, and think about this. Think about this a little bit like the Cybertruck, okay? After the 3, except the ramp on the Cybertruck has been just like infinitely better than it was with the 3. Infinitely better. But here's what I want to show you. This is what you got to understand. So over here, we had the 3 delivery with the ramp, and it just sucked. Phase 2 to 3 sucked. We barely went anywhere for price. It only went up 175% from the bottom to the top. Then it grinded for a couple of years, right? And then people made fun of the Model Y delivery. It pumped up into it, made fun of it. Look what happened to the price. Look at it. It plummeted. It plummeted. It was at, and this is after a really good run. We haven't had a good run at all. We're still incredibly recessed. It plummeted from like post-split $64 all the way down to $23. It went down 66%. And remember, we haven't had a good ramp. This went from 1188 all the way up to 64. We haven't had anything like that. We grinded sideways to down for almost 3 years. And people made fun of this the Model Y, said it was fucking stupid, said you're not going to see this anytime soon. And the ramp was so impressive. Why was it impressive? Because over 70% of the parts were recyclable, right? Between the 3 and the Y. And they'd figured out all the problems. The price proceeded to go up about 20x from the bottom of this level. About 20x. So people, you listen to the noise today if you want, guys. Sell it all. If you're doubtful of what's going to happen, I say you get rid of all of it, but you need to listen to the signal. Right now, we got economic data. We're going to pause real quick here, and we're going to jump over to it. Here's our PPI data, deciding what happens with markets. Let's go back a little bit so we can get the early Rick Santelli. It looks like we have Wong in the house, too. We'll have to listen to some of that.
That's right.
But I still enjoy your show.
Thank you.
We love having you here.
Thank
Go,
you.
you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jensen.
All right, Rick, you're on.
September PPI, and there's some surprises here. Headline number coming in
Looks
better
good.
than expected. Unchanged, but we
All right, sneak peek. PPI is fine.
have been there before. It was unchanged in July. To find a lower reading, you'd have to go to decent at the end of last year when it was minus 110. If we look at ex-food and energy, it's as expected up 0.2%, and it's 1/10 cooler than the rear view mirror. Up 0.2. Well, up 0.2 is still a little warm considering we were down 0.2 in July.
Nah, not a big
if
deal.
If you look at
Just
ex-food,
month-over-month.
energy, and trade on a month-over-month basis, coming in a 10th light, up 0.1%. Last month, downgraded from up 0.3.
PPI a mixed bag. I don't know. Let's look at that. I don't think so. Let's go up here. All right, so we'll skip all the foreign stuff. We'll skip India. We'll skip Mexico for now, Canada. We'll probably come back and look at those later. So PPI, month over month, 0%. They expected 0.1% forecast and consensus. So producer prices actually went down. That's what we want. We don't want producer price inflation. That's good. Core PPI, year over year. I don't give a shit about month over month. Now that is 2.8%. It was consensus at 2.7 and forecast at 2.4, but it's in the fucking twos. So none of that matters, but let's just take a look here. Again, guys, like if we go back here, this only goes, producer prices only go to 2011 for year over year. But look at this. This is not really abnormal. This is like most of 2018 to 2019. And this is just a little baby bounce off of an incredible drop. But these are not crazy prices at all. And some of that is just seasonally because of year over year differences, right? From the trough to the peak. Like some of this is just going to be seasonality. So, and the month over month was 0.2, just what they expected. So don't worry about any of that. Minus food, energy, and trade, 0.1%, so lower than forecast and consensus. PPI X food, energy, trade year over year, 3.2, perfectly in line. PPI year over year, 1.8%. Now that came in a little bit hot. It's forecast for 1.6 and consensus, consensus is 1.6, forecast is 1.5. So, but again, there's some seasonality to this. This isn't bad at all, guys. Look at this. Look at the levels we're at. Put it in perspective. This isn't bad in any way. These numbers look good. Let's look real quickly. I forgot I could do this too. I forgot I could do this over here. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to scroll down with my watch list. But again, my argument is that people are being idiots. This stock will be bought up, I think, a lot quicker than anything that we saw with the Model Y. That event last night was amazing. Will people look at it the wrong way? Yeah, sure. People are idiots. Most people are sheep when it comes to investing. So yes, that could happen. Let's look here real quick. Instead of going to that other view, let's just zoom in with this. So we've got cryptos pumping. We've got Micron pumping. We've got more cryptos pumping. We've got the Hang Seng Index up 3%, it looks like, overnight. Again, don't buy China, to God. We've got Bitcoin actually pumping 61,400. I said last night, because we got down to 59, I'm like, hey, we could still get to 57 or 53. I don't know if that's going to happen now. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. I'm blown away right now by people's short-term sights on what is going to happen in the markets in the next couple of quarters, and them just being like, oh God, Bitcoin's been down for 6-7 months. It's so hard, so painful. Dude, I've been doing this shit since 2017, and I ain't worried. Oh, Rick's going off. We might have to listen to the rest of Rick here in a second. Let's keep scrolling down though. I love angry Rick. He's my favorite Rick. All right, let's just look. Bitcoin again. Ethereum doing all right too. Like cryptos are doing good. That's probably a good sign. Nvidia up 1.63%. People are probably selling Tesla to buy Nvidia. I just think that's the stupidest shit in the world. Anyway, Palantir up 1%, of course. Something that is got a, what is the PE ratio right now on Palantir? It's probably like 300. It's probably getting close to 300 right now. It's 256 in here, but it's up more. So, of course, people should buy Palantir right now. It's got a PE of 300, a forward PE that's probably 100. So why not buy something that is super overvalued, and that is like overvalued and has bearish divergence going back over a year and a half. Totally. Make that move, guys. If you want to make that move, be stupid, make that move. Have fun. Gold up 0.55, SoFi up 0.47. So literally everything up today except for Tesla. It's upside down world. Well, I guess TLT and stuff are taking shits too. Oh, wait, am I in the ascended? Oh, no, I need to move over. I hate this. I wish I could resort these. All right, here we go. Back with the right numbers. Tesla, leading decline, down 6%. Biddy, down 3%. BABA, down 1.35. So it looks like China probably did go down overnight. And then we'll get back to economic data and listen to Rick Santelli and the rest of them. Uranium's down. Argentina's down. That's good. I sold that to buy Tesla yesterday, but it looks like I need to buy more. What can I sell today to buy more Tesla? That's the real question that I'm looking for. Let's see what we got here. BITX up 5.6%. Looks like I'm selling BITX. MSTX up 5%. Looks like I'm selling more of that. I hate to do it, but you got to remember, guys, I sold over $500,000 in just Tesla calls, and then I've been buying those on the way down. But I put a ton of that into Bitcoin and crypto, so my exposure has gotten much larger in that. It's time to take some of those gains, especially I think with MicroStrategy. So I'm just going to look here, and don't get me wrong, it could do better. I don't care. This probably hasn't recalced for what's happened this morning. We're probably closer to 2.5 for the NAV premium. So I'm going to be dialing out of this, and I'm going to be buying Tesla options this morning. I mean, that's what I'm doing. But let's go back here. I want to listen to a little more Galley. Where to start, actually. Let's do this. We'll get back to Tesla in a second. Let's listen to the rest of what Rick has to say, because he's going to go off, and I want to hear it. I think everything looks great, guys. The next series of economic data will be down here. We're going to get Michigan consumer data. We got the WASD report. That's really the big stuff for today. And then Monday and Tuesday are going to be light again. We got a lot of Chinese data over the weekend, though. So that's pretty much it. So once 9 o'clock comes, that's our next set. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. Let's real quickly listen to Rick. We'll listen to their takes on economic data. And then I want to jump back over to Tesla.
To up 2/10, up 1/10. Well, once again, if you look at where we were in June, it was only up 1/10.
Yes, I'm still doing 330 strikes, but run the calculator yourself, guys. I've given you the tools. I've shown you the Option 101 video. You know how to find open interest. You know how to find volumes. You know how to find, roughly the strikes. I share my charts out there. You guys have them both in X, and you also have it. Tesla getting crushed. Yeah, just by stupid people. Definitely catch up with my video, please. All right. So you know my strikes, right? Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you, Siraj. I'm going to sell MicroStrategy. I'm going to sell MSTX, dude. I'm going to sell something that has a 2x multiplier to MicroStrategy. I will sell that. I put over $500,000 into Bitcoin and crypto over the last month that off of profits that I've made off of Tesla. So I'm going to buy more Tesla right now. This is what I do, dude. This is literally what I do. This is what I do. So yeah, I'm going to sell more. But again, focus on the future, guys. PPI print also bad. It's not. It's not bad. It's not bad. Please watch the video. Please go back. It's not bad. This is the way it's going to be today. This is the way it's going to be today. It's just going to be everybody. I got to get better at dealing with other people's emotions. I got to get better at that. So I'm going to try and work on that, okay?
To find a lower number, though, you have to go way back. The last time we had any negative number here or a zero, boy, I have to go back a long ways. You were going back to mid-2020. Now, the year-over-year numbers. 1.8 year-over-year headline, or final demand, as we call it. That's definitely warmer than we were anticipating, and it's 1/10.
I'm just going to go a little further.
Finally,
I want to hear him rant.
Ex food, energy, and trade.
No, it's all right, Josh. It's all right.
That is 1/10 cooler than the rear view mirror. It equals.
Here's the deal, guys. It's rough. It's rough being me right now with stuff like this. I told people it was a buy the news event, and so I'm wrong about that, right? Because I'm wrong about that because we know how things work. We know that it's a voting market over the short term, and it's a betting market essentially. And we know over the long term it's fundamentals. And so over the short term, I'm wrong. And so I'm going to get shit on for that, for being wrong about the buy the news event. But it's not even just that. It's not that I have a problem with. It's the fact that there is a narrative this morning about this, the fact that what happened last night isn't amazing and transformational. But I've seen this happen over and over and over again. And what will happen is the analysts that are bearish, or the ones that aren't really talking right now, are going to stew on it. They're going to think about it. Elon's going to clarify a couple of points, maybe answer some questions. Then in a week or so, people are going to be super excited again, and then they're going to be talking about it. And maybe it doesn't even take a week. Maybe it's literally Monday. I don't know. The CNBC guys don't even seem to understand that optimists can talk. And the people in this chat that are supposed to be bullish on Tesla think that it's being just remote controlled and that there's a person talking for it, even though the people there said that it was doing the talking. So now people just think Tesla's a fraudulent company. So again, there's this narrative of things that come out, but what happened last night was fucking amazing. And I hope you guys can understand that, okay? I hope you get it. Daryl Farrell, yeah, maybe you're an idiot. You could be an idiot. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know you personally.
Where we were in July, but boy, if you look at January, February, March, all three of those were under 3%. So how do you want to slice and dice this?
And again, I don't know the context of what you're saying, but if you're saying that you think it's that you're arguing with me because of the fact that I'm saying people are being idiots for not understanding how amazing it is, then yes, you're being a fucking idiot. Does that make you a moron? Maybe not. But you're being a fucking idiot. You're not paying attention. You're not finding signal. And I don't know how to help you with that if that's the comment that you're making. If it's not, well, then disregard.
Are we making progress? In certain areas, I'm sure some of the newspapers, just like CPI yesterday, will say, inflation's coming in lighter. They cherry pick which one. And I don't know. When I look at CPI yesterday or PPI today, it looks like we're stalled in the sand.
That's great, Silas. But last night and on most of my thread, everybody, including people that follow me, including people that, that are normally pretty avid about it, were like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think it's actually doing it. So I'm happy that people are getting that in here. But again, it's the immediate reactions of what happens with people and like a mass psychology thing with data. Where it's like it's got to be I don't understand how people can see outside of, again, some technical issues, outside of Elon not conveying things in clear fashion sometime, being super autistic last night, weird flow with the setup, but like the overall presentation and like what was happening there was amazing. 50 autonomous cybercabs and vehicles driving around this lot, people picking their own destinations on where they want to go, the robot dancing, making drinks, talking to people, walking around, not just one, but a bunch of them, the cyber cab, the cyber van, his vision of the future and the fact, and literally telling people we're pushing an age of abundance that's going to change all of humanity. So, just like obviously nothing happened last night.
And in some of them, we're making slight progress in others, but it definitely still doesn't look like a 2% Fed target. So
sorry, I'm still waiting for the rant. I could see him ranting, so I want to see what it's about.
It all depends. How's the market? Quite undecided about it, I guess. We're a basis point lower in 2s. We're right around the same area in 10s. And consider that at 408 in 10s, we're up 2 on the day. We're up 11 on the week. And if we get above these levels, and it's getting very close, we'll have 8 consecutive sessions, both in 10s and 30s, where it's traded above previous
Thanks,
days'
Silas. You're probably
high
right.
yields. This is something that doesn't happen very often, and it really goes to the whole point of how interest rates have definitely gotten a life of their own, and they do underscore that one dynamic. The Fed does control certain aspects of rates on the short end.
1 second. Yeah, Daryl, then you should sell. You should sell, dude. Sell your stock. Sell your stock. Get out. I'm sorry. I'm going to be super bullish on a company that is doing the most amazing work on the entire fucking planet. Because I would rather be wrong for a day, a week, a month, or a quarter. Hell, I'd rather be wrong for a year and a half. I don't care. I will constantly bet on this company. So if you want to be short-sighted, if you're a day trader, I totally get your statement. If you're a day trader, then you should go down that path and you should think about Wall Street and short-term earnings. I don't give a shit. And if I've misrepresented myself, I'm not a day trader. I might reallocate funds, but that is not who I am. I'm an investor. That's the heart of what I'm doing, is finding companies that are changing the world for the better and making me shit tons of money at the same time. And in some cases, they're not companies, they're Bitcoin. But that's what I do. And so I'm focused on the long-term vision. I'm not focused on short-term fucking noise. Yeah, then it's amazing, Daryl, that you can't see what Tesla is. That's interesting. So enjoy your Palantir over the next 2 years.
And they have quantitative easing to try to manipulate rates beyond that. But the market has a voice, and that voice has gotten a whole lot louder as of late. Joe, back to you.
But is it loud? It's louder, but is it loud? That's the question I asked earlier.
Yeah,
is
totally
there
agree,
actually is the market itself chafing?
Yeah, exactly.
At the Fed, more or less saying the last mile, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Alexander, that's a true point.
But that's in the bag, because I don't know, a move from 3 core to 2 core, which if they really.
Oh yeah, and last night, sorry, this is actually pretty boring. I don't even know. I'm not even going to watch this. I'm not going to lie. We're going to go back to Galley in a second. It's way more boring than I thought it was going to be. But Freedom Option said, "Hey, did you see Trump's speech about making auto leases and it's auto leases and car loans? Am I correct? Tax deductible. That is a huge benefit to the auto industry, where he doesn't have to add additional tariffs to try and fight off Chinese aggressiveness with the auto sector. But at the same time, you can encourage people to buy vehicles. I think that's a brilliant plan, and it would actually do a really great job. Day trading is hard to get ahead unless you're a taxed advantage. And, well, yeah, I don't even like day trading, period. I think it's stupid. So many people go into investing. They think that they can look at the technicals on a chart and that's all they have to do. And they're going to be right and they're going to win more than they don't. And it's like, that's why almost everybody loses in trading. I mean, the vast majority, 95% of traders that think they're great, it's not even 95. It's probably like 98, 99% who think they're great, who show you their wins and then not their losses, who aren't transparent like me. They're always winning. They're always going to win, right? But they don't. They really don't. Most traders do not win. There's a very rare breed that do, and they can still lose for a year or two at a time. So why not be a long-term investor and think the right way and be some cross between, like, you know, somebody who's deep into like the tech, like, you know, future growth, all that kind of stuff. And then also pragmatic in their approach, like a Warren Buffett, where you're like, Tesla is going to be a great company for 10 or 20 years. I want to be invested in it. When should I get in and get out? And again, if you were buying at 150 2 years ago, you made the right, or 100, you made the right move. If you were buying when it was 150 6 months ago, you made the right move. I'm sorry, you did.
Tomorrow on the media, but the truth is, Tesla just.
All right, Daryl, please stop talking in my chat today. You're going to annoy me, bro. I don't want to block you. I'm serious. Like, you're going to annoy me, and I don't want to be annoyed. I haven't had a lot of sleep. Please stop.
Just crushed it. They just showed us the future. It's going to take a few years, but they just showed the little robotaxi and the big bus, the combination of those two vehicles, the cybercab and the hobo van, or what was he calling it? Robo van or robo van. Robovan, whatever. I think he needs to work on that. That joke did not land, and he tried. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, they've got the small autonomous vehicle and the big autonomous vehicle. They both look insanely awesome,
All right,
kind of like
your
the
blocks.
Cybertruck. Although I feel like they could look a little bit better, like even more Cybertrucky. But man, I have so much fun on LA.
All right, bye, Daryl. Comments
I
are
can't
gone.
believe I'm literally recording this as this big party's going on.
Oh, what if a robot kills somebody? What a stupid fucking comment. What a stupid fucking comment. So, whatever. I don't even have time. I'm not even talking.
Like, the Tesla community has been through a lot of bullshit, I gotta say. And this event just seems like such a vibe. And to see the Optimus robots, or to hear that they're gonna have...
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to focus on my own bags because literally I've got a YouTube channel where I'm talking to people about investing and they're asking me questions about their bags. So it's kind of hard for me to do it. But yeah, I hear you.
Optimus robots walking through the event. And
This is
just interacting
amazing.
with people. Like, Tesla just unveiled its next chapter. You know, and the Optimus robot here, I mean, to see 50...
This is amazing. Galley, again, he was here in 2016 and 17 and he got to do 30X, right? And then he stepped away because he's like, it's like so overvalued. I just can't, there's other things I'm excited about. I'm going to go check them out. And so he just didn't really give a shit about Tesla for a long period of time. And now he's coming back and getting excited. And there is a reason for that, okay? There is a reason for that. This guy gets signal. He gets it. He sees it, okay? He sees it. It's not financial advice, and you give a disclaimer. Yes, I do. And I'm also not a short-term trader. So there. But listen, I'm going to stop interrupting Galley. This is so much signal.
Optimus robots walking out autonomously. I don't know. It's I'm kind of in this juxtaposition of like, what's the news Wall Street market cycle going to think about this tomorrow versus like, what do I think as a long-term shareholder? Which is so funny because what do I really think about the tomorrow news cycle bullshit? Screw it. Who even cares what they say? Who even...
Not a Nuggetron.
I don't even care what they say. Because the truth is, Tesla just unveiled the future. I mean, we are going to see... This is the pièce de...
Yeah, so, all right, somebody made a point, and it's actually a pretty good one, so I'm going to say something here. They said, Steven said, I'm worried about how people are going to treat the robots, though, especially once they start taking jobs from people. Yeah, okay. So somebody will break a $25,000 robot and go to jail. Maybe if they're in California, they don't. So they stop having the robots there and their economy hurts. But there's going to be plenty of places where there's people like me that will buy these things and be stupid happy about them. Thanks for the tip, Peter. I really appreciate you. That are going to be stupid happy about them because they can literally, like, I'm retired, but you know what? I still feel like a slave. You know why I feel like a slave? Because I have a geriatric dog that I have to take out all the time. I've got to put down pee pads for her because she can't make it all the time. I've got to still take out the garbage. I've got to still clean the house. I've got to still wash clothes and do, like, my wife and I still have to manage all these things. We got to eat. We got to do all these things that you have to just do in life. And we can't just devote our time to the things we want to do, like focusing on my health more, focusing on this kind of stuff more. We're still slaves to all the routine, right? In the future, we don't have to be. So will some people vandalize a couple of robots and some cybercabs and go to jail? Yes, they will. And maybe they don't if they're in California because they're fucking stupid. I don't care. But there'll be plenty of places where people take advantage of these things. None of it matters. If you're able to build robots that can then build the robots for you, you're going to be at such an escape velocity in wealth creation. That's something that mankind has never seen before. So find the signal. Listen to Galley.
Resistance of Tesla. It has taken Tesla. Everything that Tesla's done has been building up to get to this one moment, which is a car they can produce for $15,000 to $20,000, sell for $25,000 to $30,000. Maybe, make it as a robotaxi or sell it to people or whatever. But this car that's electric, that's insanely efficient, that goes 250 to 300 miles, that drives itself, this is going to be the safest thing. It's going to be the most sustainable thing. This is going to change transportation. This is the horse to the car to the Tesla Cybercab. It's horse, car, Cybercab. So I know it takes longer.
Tesla.
It's not going to be as easy as we think, but it's also like when you take a step back, in my lifetime, it was just car. Now it's like this once in a lifetime change into the cyber cab.
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button. I'll go back to it. So somebody made a great comment though, and I wanted to talk to it. Jim said it's the same for all machines in our houses today. People today accept them as normal and extremely helpful. It's just incredible what potential Optimus has. Dude, people used to be like, why the hell would you have a phone in you? They used to be like, why would anybody need email? People didn't think you needed email. They thought it was they thought it was so strange. Why wouldn't human beings just write letters or call somebody? Why would anybody ever need email where they're not even interacting with somebody in real time? We have so many devices in our house. We have devices monitoring us all the time so that we can say, okay, GOOGLE, do this thing, open this thing, turn on my TV. People would have thought that was uncomprehendable like a decade ago, and now it's just normal and everybody has them. Like, I'm sorry if people can't understand the future. But your kids do. Your kids do. So if you want to find out what the future is, talk to your kids about it. They can maybe help you out. Get rid of your bias.
It's 1 a.m. in Brooklyn forward. I don't know. I just feel like we have the luxury of glimpsing at the future by watching these events. And it's something that I've kind of roasted Tesla on in the past of like being like,
if people are focused on the Roadster, Ronald, the thing that is the least expandable, right? The thing that can give them a little bit of margin but take a lot of effort and then really not move the needle in the way of autonomy or move the needle in the way of production because it's so much niche. It's so much more niche to produce things like a Ferrari, right? If that's their focus, then they deserve to miss out on the opportunity. They really do. They do, because that's just a stupid thing for people to be focused on, the Roadster. It is the least important thing that Tesla is doing as a company. And if that's what they're focused on, they like, and here's the thing. Elon said they're going to be producing those this next year. We're going to start producing a sellable Optimus next year. It can already talk now. We're going to start producing the Roadster this next year. He said the Cybercab will be 2026, but then said, you know what? Let's make it 2027 because I've been wrong about timing so much. So let's push it and be more. And because of that, people still add time to it, right? And now they're saying like, oh, it's 2028 because he said it was 2026 and then said it was 2027 just to be safe. And so it's obviously another year on top of that. So he can't win no matter what based on perception alone. But if people are focused on the Roadster, then they can enjoy missing out. That's cool. Alfonso Biggers, Henry Ford said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. That's a great one. I love that one so much. Jim said, exactly, mind-blowingly useful for all of our lives. Kids will cheer for it. Our kid already is very curious about robots law. She always wanted to watch Dude, I wanted a robot when I was a little kid, but they were toys, right? That just spouted out some shit. You know, they weren't what you wanted them to be. They're literally that now. They're literally real right now. Sela said, in the Philippines, most clothes are still washed by hand, even in modern houses. Labor is cheap. They say human attention is superior. That's fine, but it won't last indefinitely. Yeah, you know, dude, literally, labor could be cheap in those regions, and they won't adopt these as quickly. But in areas where labor is expensive, like the United States or even China now, or all of Europe, and all these other places, they will grab onto these so quickly, and they'll be the leaders again in the future economies because of fast adoption of robotics and autonomy and AI. So there'll be some places that benefit more than those. Places with cheap labor probably won't do as well. But whatever, that's their loss.
Like, oh, you're too forward thinking, or it's too much fluff, or blah blah blah. But
yeah, dude, WRF, Optimus could speak Spanish easily. He could speak any language, right? Like, he could speak any language. I can do that with Grok right now, and it's Grok running it. So, yes.
When I boil it down to, I'm like, dude.
And I do agree with the statements from Andres. If Trump wins, these will be deployed much sooner than expected. If Kamala wins, we might never see them on the road. Nah, we'll still see them. She doesn't have that much power. She can't even win the House and the Senate, bro. Dustin P11, with declining populations, younger people will benefit from having robots and automation. They'll need that. And then humanity will need to find purpose. That's the real problem that we'll have. It'll be finding purpose. I can tell you from being retired for over 4.5 years, finding purpose after you've assigned yourself and your entirety of your life to some work-related thing, and that's who you are as a human being, that's the hardest thing, okay? It took me a while to find purpose. You can watch every TV show. You can play video games. You can do all these things that you told yourself that you were you can go on trips. All these things that you told yourself you would be excited about, and that this is the things that are going to make you happy in life. And then you find out they don't, and you get bored with it, and then you have to find purpose. That is the greatest hurdle for humanity in the future ahead. If we don't nuke ourselves, or there's the 20% chance we kill ourselves with AI. The real problem is going to be just us. Are we going to be okay as human beings? Are we going to still be able to find purpose? I found it. If I can find it, I think anybody can. I'm a fucking high school dropout who didn't want to complete high school because I couldn't stand in front of people and do speeches. And look at where I am today. So if I can find purpose in life afterwards, I think we all can. But that's going to be one of our biggest hurdles.
We are living through, like, I feel like saying Steve Jobs' iPhone, but, like, that just does not do it justice. Like, we're living through something.
Grok 3 is literally supposed to be by the end of the year, so probably spring of next year. That's for Grok 3. Grok 2 is already amazing. Grok 3 will be the best AI on Earth at the time it is deployed. That's what Elon Musk said.
Way bigger. And like these product launches are going to be so iconic when we look back, like these moments, this 10-10 moment. That's why I'm recording this. Like, this video sucks. It's just me rambling. I've had a couple beers. It's like 2 a.m. I'm exhausted. I recorded this video 6 times. This is the 6th recording of me rambling about this. So I'm trying to even remember what I said in all the videos, but I had to post it because the energy is freaking crazy. And I just feel like I saw a secret that no one else knows, and that's the future. So
there must be like a semi driving by his place or something.
There's a truck. I don't know if you can hear it. It's New York City, so shit's going on. But I'm trying to think of how to sum up the event.
All right, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there. Let's go back over here. I'm going to let these guys finish speaking. I got to take a pee-pee break anyway. You know me. My bladder doesn't work. Most of my body doesn't work. So I will be right back in 2 seconds, and then we'll go from there, and we'll start going through economic data and more Tesla stuff. If you guys have any questions, throw them out. If there's topics coming up, news events that we need to be speaking about, throw them out. We'll be here for a while. I'm probably going to be here for another 2 hours. So let's rock and roll.
Don't move the goalposts. If they're dead set on getting to 2, there's no guarantee that they can get bring that last amount out. It could start going the other way and start increasing again. Rick, would the market?
I think yes. Yeah, that's what I think. It's not only that I really don't think, other than the Fed's favorite inflation gauge, which runs about 0.5% under where CPI is, I just don't think we're going to get anywhere near 2% on some of those.
They said we have to.
But I do.
They said they'd keep doing it until they get there, no matter what. And they've already stopped.
They carved it out. They carved it out.
And they're already going down.
And there's a credibility issue. Yes. And earlier, you had a great discussion with Steve. Wish I could have been there. Does the Fed somewhat
he poo-pooed on me. No, he poo-pooed me.
Yeah, but there's no poo-pooing here. Come on. This is an easy one, guys. Okay, I'm a corporate CEO of a big company. I'm a CEO of a big company. You're my treasurer. Are you supposed to do my bidding? Are you supposed to do your fiduciary job? Okay? If the Fed wants to keep interest rates too low to please their boss, that's not a good thing. They should do what's right for the country. And if their boss, Congress, fires them or changes their edict over that, then we all get to see it. We all get to weigh in with the ballot box. I'm sorry, I disagree with Steve's interpretation on that one.
Well, certainly.
Steve pissed him off. I don't know what the interpretation was. What did I miss?
There were times in the past where I think the Fed really made it easy for these guys and gals to be able to spend whatever they want.
Name a time they didn't. Name a time they didn't.
So it would just be beyond the pale to say, hold on, guys, let's take a step back before we get to 130% of debt to GDP. I don't know. I don't know why that would be such a hard thing to do. But suppose, you know what? If I were the Fed, I'd like to say it's not our problem. We need to hear from Congress. I'd say that too. That way, there's plausible deniability. We got to get to David Seif here. Thank you, Rick. For more on this, let's bring in David Seif. He's chief economist for developed markets.
All right, I'm going to let this play a little bit. I still want to hear other opinions about it. And while that's happening, I'm just going to look over at stocks and see how we're doing. We have about 24 minutes until the bell rings, and then the market opens. And we also have about 30 minutes on top of that until we get the final Michigan sentiment survey data. So that'll be the last major part of economic data for today.
At Nomura Securities International. Steve is here too. We're going to go to you first. He's right above you. Look up at him like this, Steve. See, I gotta look.
You gotta look down.
Look, I really enjoyed that fictitious conversation you guys were having because apparently, according to Rick Santelli, rates were not 5.5%, right? 5.38, right? Rick said, name a time they didn't. Okay, for 2 years, the Fed has kept rates well above any measure of neutral. So.
Yes, I actually agree with Leisman here. For the first time in a while.
You guys can go back and have your conversation again. I don't see any.
I love that. He's like, fuck off.
Inflation in this number. The market agrees with me. Yields are off.
Agreed.
Yields are a little bit lower. The S&P turned from negative to positive, just a couple points. But I don't see inflation in the pipeline. Rick is right. They're up. They're down. And if you want, Joe, your kids to control your credit card, or the people who work for you to control your credit card, then that's the system you're creating, Joe.
My kids totally control my credit card.
Kids?
Already?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Go ahead, Rick. Yeah.
Other way around, Rick. The Fed works for Congress, okay? You want the Fed to control interest rates.
No, they don't. They should do their job. And if Congress changes their mandate, then we all get to see it out and open in a transparent way. And how do you know where neutral is? How do you know where neutral is? How do you know where our star is? Nobody knows. It's a big fallacy. They're a long way from neutral. Nobody knows where neutral is. What if rates are destined to go to 14%? Where's neutral then?
Well, that was your prediction, Rick. How you doing with that 13% number you predicted?
No. Don't put words in my mouth.
How you doing with that, Rick?
To the tape.
Working out well for you?
Over the next 10 years, Uncle Steve, that I think there's a...
If Santelli really does die from blood pressure issues, it's going to be Leisman's fault. And he knows it. Look at the little smug look on his face up there.
Possibility to see double-digit interest rates. I still believe that. It's not my base case.
So mean.
But over the next 10 years,
I definitely think it's 10 years, Rick. It makes everybody poor, Rick, when you scream.
No, actually, I haven't. No, actually,
I haven't. Everybody
same story, Rick, for 10 years.
That's zero.
Oh my God, this is so good. I needed this morning.
When the government was manipulating, putting all the anvils on one side of the scale, why do you continually speak out for an entity that, for the most part, along with the Treasury, has put us in such a bind?
I'm not speaking out, Rick. I'm explaining the situation as it's been set up by the Federal Reserve Act.
I would never want to be a treasurer.
What do you want to bet these two motherfuckers hang out in the weekend? They're like if anybody's seen Grumpy Old Men, what do you want to bet these two like go fishing together and they just like hate each other on this show and then they spend all their time together and don't even talk about this stuff? Maybe like it's gonna be or I don't know. Maybe they talk about it all the time. But this is so great.
Are you a Rick guy or are you a Rick guy?
Is that how it works?
We certainly aren't anticipating interest rates at 10% anytime in the next decade. I'll certainly put it that way.
No double digits.
No double digit interest rates. We don't think.
And with the data we saw yesterday and today?
Yeah, so, the data were a little hot in the CPI. PPI was fine, but...
They literally just moved on and took those guys off the screen.
The key thing for the Fed is their preferred measure of inflation, core PCE. And when you actually look at the components from yesterday's print and just looking over today's PPI print that go into that core PCE, it actually looks pretty good. Didn't really raise our tracking estimate by very much over the past 24 hours based on these two prints. And so
All right, whatever. I don't care. So the prints were good, guys. This was all good. This is all good stuff. Also, for people that don't realize, today is bank earnings day, pretty heavy. Ooh, and maybe I can get this in trading view. Let me just find this real quick. Trading view. Let me get some of this off of here. Trading view, heat map, calendar. Okay. Ugh. All right. So today is all about bank earnings. And look at this. Look at the surprises, guys. Surprise, JP Morgan, 9.52%. Surprise, Wells Fargo, 10.66%. Surprise, BlackRock, 10.6%. The Bank of New York Mellon Corporation, surprise, 6.2%. Fastenal, surprise, 1.34%. Bank 7 Corp, surprise, 19.23%. Unity Bank Corp, surprise, 13%. Does today seem like a bad day? Literally, PPI is good, and earnings are all outperforming. So, what's the signal here? What is it, guys? And I guess we don't. Let me go to pre-market here on the heat map. We'll jump around. We're going to cover a lot of stuff, guys. So pretty outside of Tesla getting butchered and some Chinese stuff getting butchered, I would say pre-market is sitting pretty good, just hanging out. You got to realize the market has been doing fairly well. Now there should be more rotation occurring, so I think you could see that, but the market is doing pretty good. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else we got here. And we've got about 19 minutes till we fire off. It looks like a lot of people talking. There's so much Tesla-related news. I'm going to be buying. So let me go to that. Let me talk to this real quick. So here's the deal, guys. For a month, I was selling Tesla. I was selling my contracts up over 100% on a lot of them. I was selling that into that strength, and I was buying Bitcoin-related investments. So today, if I sell more MSTX or BITX, and these things are up, and they're up by 6 to 10%, let's say, on the day, and I use that to buy Tesla with calls that could be down 15 to 20%, I'm not crazy. This is what you should be doing, not financial advice, okay? BITX up 5.6%, MSTX 4.12. I could see these things climbing towards double digits today, okay? I will be buying Tesla down 7%. I don't care how much I lose on options today. I'm buying a bunch more because that is the right move. Let's listen to this, see what CNBC bullshit has to say about Tesla right now with Jim Cramer, who was praising it yesterday. Let's just look. 1 second. Let's go back.
It would introduce some new model. That did. Speaking point as well.
What you do, and you can put 4.
Oh, wait. We got to. All right. Let's watch.
Pressure pre-market, as you know.
No, look at his smile. Oh, Tesla's fender pressure pre-market. You're a fucking idiot.
Robotaxi.
I hate this guy. Out of everybody, I hate him the most.
Event in California, Musk unveiled the Cybercab, which is autonomous and has no steering wheel or pedals. Says the price tag will be under $30K, with production, he says, set to begin before 2027. This is Musk offering his vision for the Cybercab.
That was actually a better representation of what the actual time frame.
Cybercab.
We'll move from supervised full self-driving to unsupervised full self-driving, where the car, you could fall asleep and wake up at your destination.
I do that right now.
Tesla also showcased
anybody.
the Robo-Van, which transports up to 20 people. The reaction, Jim Jeffries calls it toothless. Adam Jonas and Morgan Stanley, the title is that's
only
it.
1 hour.
Yeah, we're working on a piece today about it for Mad, and we just kind of thought you can't sell the guy short. You can't get out, but we didn't have the details. The Robovan is not really that attractive to people. We didn't get enough about the next new iteration of just a regular Tesla. But David, one of the things I thought was that struck me,
yes,
the price, is that Uber's up a lot this morning. And one of the
This is Jim Cramer is literally this is who Meet Kevin is turning into. It's pathetic.
The reason I think is because his car has 2, and you can put 4 in a Waymo.
What the fuck? What the fuck, guys? He doesn't even know what's happening here. So Elon said that in 2025 in Texas and California, you will be able to use every autonomous vehicle that is out right now for Tesla to be able to have it in jurisdictions that are allowing it, and you'll be able to have some of these have way more than 4 seats, and yet he's making comments that this thing's only going to have 2 and it's going to be out at the latest by 2027. These people are fucking idiots. People who listen to these guys are morons. I just want to say that. Morons. Thank you, Brandon, for the $2. Appreciate the tip, my friend.
You can put 5, but that person has to be in the trunk and they catch you.
To your point.
I think eventually, Dennis Nuber said, do you think they'll have a smaller van? That thing is huge for a family. No, it's not a family van. That thing, so think of buses. Buses can hold like maybe 40 people or something, right? So the cyber van that they showed is like a city bus, but you don't have 40 people in it. You have 20, and they can like watch TV and hang out and just sit in this thing. And then they can pay anywhere from 20 to 40% as they scale for what they would pay for like a bus ticket. So think of that cyber van as that. Will they do an actual van, like a cross between the truck I have and one of the ones I've illustrated a couple of times in images? Yes, I think they will.
Uber is Uber.
But it's obviously not on the roadmap in the next 2 years.
Uber for now is kind of what some of the investors are saying.
What did you say just now?
I said Uber is the Uber.
Kramer's right about what? What, Doug?
Uber for now. It's, that's what it is.
You like that? The forecast is the forecast.
That is the forecast is the forecast. But your point is well taken. You can take a look. Uber shares up almost as much as 6% before we get started with trading 20 minutes or less from now.
Yeah, dude. So Dougie Dallas. Unsupervised FSD next year. The entire room in the Houston showroom broke out in excitement because that was happening. That's the actual signal.
Generally speaking, not a particularly positive set of reviews. Again, given the lack of specifics that some had been hoping for.
People are so fucking stupid. There are people dumb enough to be buying Uber today.
Not to mention, you sort of hoped they would introduce some new model. That didn't happen, right?
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
Why is 200 coming, Marty? Why is 200 coming? Whatever. I don't care. I don't have the patience to respond to comments like that.
Didn't happen. Lack of data regarding rate of change on FSD, overall tech, rideshare economics, go-to-market strategy.
So people in here are saying that the fundamentals of everything we saw, that talking robots, walking robots, dancing robots, robots serving people, a vehicle that doesn't have a steering wheel, that doesn't have pedals, that can drive itself, that we're literally doing that last night while these robots were walking amongst the crowd. The van that was transporting 20 people, watching all this stuff happening in real time, that's not the signal. And I just don't. I have no patience for this today. This is probably my only stream today, by the way. I don't think I have patience for the market recap. Not in this environment. I can't do this. Like I'm retired. I'm trying to help people find signal, and I just get so disillusioned with short-term thinking. Yeah.
That's from Morgan Stanley. You just mentioned Jonas.
Like I said, I'm going to be blocking a shit ton of people on X today, just because I don't want to listen to negativity. And I'm sorry. If that ends up being somebody, I'm sorry.
Earlier, I'm looking at, B of A, while investors may see little change to potential competition from Tesla long term, we knew a cybercab prototype was coming. The event lasted only 19 minutes with less concrete details and timelines than feared for Uber.
It literally had timelines. What didn't people get the timeline on? What? What do we not know the timeline on? Can somebody tell me?
In their view. So again, that's sort of more positive. Jeffries, Tesla's toothless taxi, best case outcome for.
Yeah, dude. So if you're going to be negative in chat, guys, please stop. I'm just asking you to, because I will start blocking people and just making it to where you don't speak here anymore. And I don't care if you're giving me money for a membership. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I won't. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want this to be a place where people find signal, not hear negativity and bullshit based upon the fact that this was an amazing reveal last night and it's getting pitched one way today. And if you want to say that stuff in chat, that's fine. I'll just block you. I'll block you, and you can talk to your wife about it or some shit, because you're not going to be doing it here. So please stop, or you're going away. That's just the way it is.
Uber. And on from there. That said, it's Musk, and
Wait, people are counting him out again. It's
you can't ever, as people like to point out. I mean, he is the only guy basically taking rockets up there and then landing them without any issue. By the way, I would like to point out both of my colleagues right now are on their phones, so I'm not the only one.
I'm looking for the picture.
I'm buying today. I don't know what other people here. It sounds like everybody's waiting for sub 200. If they can hold that. I'm buying today.
Wide shot here.
I'm
You see
looking for
what's
the
going
picture
on here.
of Regina Gilligan, my executive producer, riding
In the
truck from
truck,
Waymo
yes.
to show you can fit 5 on a Waymo versus 2 with Musk's.
You know, the most interesting part for me and may ultimately be is the robots.
Oh, thank you. Optimus Prime, man.
Optimus, and I mean, we don't have this because we couldn't verify a lot of it, but you see on X people talking to the robots, and you know they're just getting more and more advanced. And the fact is that what that means for the total addressable market, for example, for NVIDIA chips.
Thank you
There's
for saying.
Goldman Note recapped a meeting they had with investors this week, and Jensen said that the humanoid robot thing will generate a new total addressable market for.
Oh, so we should be bullish on NVIDIA today because of the things that Tesla is doing, but we shouldn't be bullish on Tesla. That totally makes sense.
Or chips.
Totally
We
makes
like
sense.
that.
Yeah, because that's the Doge brain. That's the.
We shouldn't be on the people that are printing GDP and transforming the entire world with the printing of that GDP, but the people who make the chips. This is like, it's like they're trying to use the gold rush narrative. It's just absolutely absurd in this context.
The neural network that he's created in conjunction with the two of them working hand to hand, and the robot, we're all going, okay, I'm going to tell you where Jensen's really going.
Tell me.
Yes, Berto, there you go. Somebody with signal in chat. Price is driving the story at this point. It's narrative. So there's a narrative that we didn't get dates. There's a narrative that, oh, hey, this should have happened earlier. There's a narrative that's out there, and then that narrative is driving price. Okay, that's the driver of the price, and then the driver of the price drives the narrative until people gain sense, which I think will happen pretty quickly because we're going to get some really good analysts that are going to be coming out and talking about this, and you'll see all of a sudden that everybody's bullish. And they start to agree with me about this. And they're going to be like, oh, hey, wow, there's opportunity here. And who knows when that'll be? Maybe it's today. Maybe it's a week. Maybe it's a month. Maybe it's a quarter. Maybe it's 2 quarters. Maybe it's 3 quarters. I really don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm buying more today.
All going to have our own robot. I mean,
that's what Musk says. I mean,
but it's true.
And I might even be doing 6 figures worth. So that's happening in 8 minutes.
The way I got a lot of ChatGPT kind of thing. I mean, right now, you ask Chat something, and it comes back with like, "What's the price of a Domino's pizza?" Well, it's like $7.50. How about the emergency pizza? Well, you can get it down to $5.
That's true.
But the new iteration
it's probably
is,
true.
Could you please compare the gross margins of Domino's to the gross margins of McDonald's? And it'll come back and it will argue it's one way to look at the gross margins.
Yes,
but you might want to look at it like that. It's about to get in depth. And it's another level, and instead of being a high schooler, it's going to have a graduate degree. That's going to be what...
Also, the advances, Carl, that have been made in the voice technology at this point is really incredible. I don't know if people have used, whether it's ChatGPT.
All right, Benny, you want to ask a question? Why do I say how important free speech is and then block everyone? Because this is my fucking page. This is my YouTube. It's my X, okay? And you know how much free speech you have on mine? None. I'm the dictator in this world, okay? But yes, I do believe in free speech. You could talk that shit anywhere else. You could have these conversations anywhere else. I'm not keeping you from YouTube. I'm not keeping you from talking to your wife. I'm not keeping you from holding up signs. I'm not keeping you from posting things on X or talking in other people's chat. You guys can all do that somewhere fucking else. But I want signal, and I want the people in here to have signal, and people that I know are just blatantly wrong or uneducated, or just pissing me off at a particular day can go bye-bye. So that's why. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in free speech. Everybody has the right to do it. I just don't have to give them the right to say shit in front of me. Okay? That's how the world works. If you don't like what somebody has to say, you can leave. And I highly suggest people do that. And when you have 60,000 plus people sitting in front of you, or today probably on X and YouTube, 1,000 people watching, there's going to be a bunch of fucking idiots in there, or a bunch of people that are driven by emotion on what the narrative is and the stock price is doing today. And I can either choose to listen to them, and I can ask them nicely to stop talking about things and being idiots. And if they can't handle that, that's fine. I have a block button. And that still doesn't mean that I'm a hypocrite about free speech. So welcome to how things work.
Right now, which I have been trying out and talking to regularly.
Thank God.
Your joke. Hey, thank you.
All
right,
there.
perfect.
Not to mention.
That's perfect. That's what I wanted. So let's just find you and get rid of you. 1 second here, guys. I need to see. No, you know what? I need to figure out who this is because I want to see if I can find him on X too. Just give me a second. I'll let this play. I just got to find this person to make him go away from everything I do.
This Google Notebook, people have been using that lately to create podcasts. A friend a couple of weeks ago had used it, said, oh, I asked it to do a podcast on you. I mean, they go. It's a man and a lady voice. They sound very natural. So you put that in robots, and there you are.
And wait till you see what Agent
I found a
Force
couple
is
of
doing.
you.
I know Jensen
We'll block them
likes
both.
this very much. Where you want to ask
Oh, wait,
for the agent.
you're
The
already
agent knows
blocked,
more
aren't
than
you?
almost anyone. You don't want to ask.
Hey, Piet, or whatever your retarded name is. Are you already blocked on X? Maybe you. It looks like you are. Well, we'll solve that here too, okay, buddy? We're gonna solve that real quick here for you too. I wish I could just block you from being able to watch my YouTube videos, but unfortunately they don't let me do that. But I'll never have to listen to your voice again, which is fun. You can just talk to yourself about me.
Yes, sir, human. Let me speak to the agent, please. There are things happening so fast now, Carl, that I am mesmerized. Jensen goes to Boston, he goes to Baltimore, he comes here, and we're all kind of like, it rings the bell because 25th anniversary of the G-Force, and you realize.
You know what? That guy's, you know what's funny? That guy, he paid to call me a joke. Thanks, dude.
The things are happening so fast that you cannot keep up. The human brain can't keep up with what the neural networks are doing.
You think these robots will? I'm thinking back to an interview we did with Musk, I don't know, 10 years ago, where we asked about guaranteed universal basic income because of the jobs that these robots may one day take.
Well, I do believe, we're honoring Carmine DeCibio this weekend at a Columbus Day. He ran a UI, and we did an amazing thing. He did a great thing about immigration. The number of people that we are having in this country, the dearth of.
The robotaxi network is further out than that. The robotaxi network is literally next year. Literally next year. All right, Christopher, you're getting blocked too. I'm just gonna start blocking. Hey guys, you want to talk shit to me? None of you are going to talk here again. Fucking go away. Leave. Don't tell me to calm down either. Don't do that.
People, you do not have enough people to handle our business. So in order to be able to make it so that everybody has a good job, we're taking away I know the longshoremen don't hear this, but what he's doing is saying, listen, Carmine is saying, we have to have more people quickly. We're not. What we're going to have is robots.
Right, and hopefully they take the sort of the work that's true drudgery, and then everybody else moves up, so to speak.
Yeah.
But there's
Creates
a divergence of opinion here, but there are just not a.
Even these guys can't get it, okay? They can't get it. They can't get the fact that, oh, hey, everybody's going to move up. It'll take away the drudgery jobs. It can take away all of them. There's literally so many programmers right now that thought that they were the future, okay? And they're gone. They're gone. They're trying to find new jobs. They were told to be programmers. They were told that if you do this, this is the job that won't get replaced by automation. And now they're gone. Analysts, researchers, this guy, they're all gone. They're all gone in the future. Every one of them.
People who I do have a talk with about AI and the future of it, and they do come back, Carl, to what you just mentioned, UI, universal income, because you get to some point where.
And yes, somebody bought a subscription on YouTube to tell me that I sucked and then got immediately blocked. And then I found whoever Piet is, I found 2 of them on X. I blocked the other one too because I must have blocked this dipshit ages ago. But if anybody else wants to come on here real quick and subscribe to talk shit about me, I welcome that. Please do.
Where the intelligence obviously exceeds our own, and then it's sort of like, well, what do we do and what are they doing and how are they doing it? And what are people doing every day? And you do get back to.
No, John Nigerian, that's actually wrong. You guys need to understand this. So Musk did say that full FSD next year with the 3 and the Y, and that was going to be rolling out unsupervised in Texas and California. But then he had to correct his statement because he said, yeah, those will be the primary ones because that's where all the numbers are. That's what people own the most of. But yes, that's the S, the X, the Cybertruck, the 3, the Y, and maybe the Semi in 2025 in Texas and in California, unsupervised. Can you please unblock me? Yeah, I'll do it for you, Matt. I'll do it for you. Since you're not being a dipshit today. I mean, I don't even know what you did before. Maybe you did nothing. But yeah, I'll hook you up. 1 second here. Let's play this out.
To at least some who believe that. Others, of course, believe it will only create more jobs. The old, which has been the trend throughout.
The loom, the sewing machine.
Right.
I mean, these are things that created tremendous productivity gains. That's where Jensen is. This idea that we're somehow going to be short-circuiting the American worker.
But the things you mentioned, the printing press, the loom, were operated by people.
Yes.
That's not the case here.
No, it's not, because they don't need us.
Right. When you have a robot that's capable physically of doing virtually anything a person is, and they get to the point where they can have full dexterity in that fashion, and they have a brain that is the equal, if not exceeds our own.
No, now
then what are we doing?
Yeah, it's literally the best product launch I've ever seen, says American Fear, and you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
What are we doing? And how many years away are we from that?
Oh, I got to get... Oh,
yeah, I want to
shit.
know.
All right, I'm going to play this out, guys. I'm going to play the opening bell real quick here.
Is it limited
as well? It's
that own the stock.
Ah, that's why Jensen's on there. All right, I'm going to play this out for a bit. I've got some trading to do.
Take a look at the NASDAQ this morning. As Jim mentioned, Jensen Huang and NVIDIA ringing the opening bell after crashing the squawk set this morning. Made us a couple seconds late on PPI, but was worth it.
Look, I think people have to understand that he's had a three-day roadshow. That's why the stock's been levitating. Speaking to all of the big accounts that own the stock, he's very loyal. If you want to hear what he's been saying, you go to the Tech Unheard. That's the podcast of Renee Haas, who used to work at NVIDIA, now works at runs ARM. Here's what I think he's telling you. Ellison needs every chip. ChatGPT needs every chip. Zuckerberg needs every chip. Musk needs every chip. Jassy needs every chip. The demand is so unbelievable here that we have to recognize that this is a multi-year phenomenon, not one iteration, not two. And he says software never dies. Jensen Huang is one of the most influential people in the world, and he is a force of good.
Let's get the opening bell here at the big board as well. It's Beazer Home celebrating its 30th listing anniversary. And as we mentioned, NVIDIA at the NAS celebrating 25 years listed as Huang does the honors.
Yep, he's quite amazing.
You talk NVIDIA, of course. AMD yesterday had an important unveiling of a new chip. The stock actually responded negatively to that. You talk about the unlimited need. We talk about it a great deal for these GPUs. Obviously, AMD entering that market previously. Now a new launch as well to try to compete with Blackwell. Is it just a function that there's so much need that they will succeed? Or
yes, I think so.
What do you make of the negative response?
Last year, she did the same thing. The stock 5 days later was up a lot. I think the people have to understand that because AWS wasn't there, apparently. There wasn't that a big presence for Jassy, that people were like worried. I mean, just give me a break. She's doing a remarkable job. You want to own that stock too. She is, without a doubt, got the clear number 2, not Intel. I can't say enough good about her.
All right, I got my order in. I'm just waiting for it to process, so I'm going to monitor that a little bit here, guys, and then we'll get back to it. I'm probably going to put like 50 or 60,000 in right away at open, and then see what happens.
To bring in Larry Fink, and I don't
might still do 100.
You're now about to speak to the person who has more money under management than any. I don't know. I was going to say G-D. I don't want to do that. But Larry
real
is
quick
the chairman
here,
CEO
I do want to
of
pull
BlackRock,
up.
And Larry, congratulations. You are
while
doing
they're talking,
the impossible.
I want to pull up Tesla stock.
You're organically growing the largest asset base in the world at a level that's high single digit. It's impossible. So tell us how you're doing it.
Well, hi everyone. How are we doing it? I think it's, we also had our 25th anniversary a couple of weeks ago, or last week. I think we've positioned the firm to take advantage of the growing capital market.
All right, I bought $55,000 in Tesla calls. I'm looking to get more. Let's listen to Larry Fink, the largest asset manager on the planet.
It's worldwide. I think the foundational belief when we started the company 37 years ago, when we went public 25 years ago, was about more and more of the world's economic growth will be financed through the capital markets. And we positioned ourselves in that in all different measures. In 2009, when we did the acquisition of BGI, we had a belief that ETFs are going to be one of the vehicles in which we're going to be doing more and more economic activity. You know, when we bought BGI, iShares had $340 billion. Today is $4.2 trillion. Even in 2012, when I think on this show I said ETFs are becoming the major engine for fixed income, we crossed $1 trillion of fixed income ETFs. And now what we are seeing through the capital markets is the blending of privates and publics. I think we're going to see portfolios that are going to be looking at publics and privates in a blended way. And that's why analytics and data are going to be even more and more important in the private area. You know, we acquired Preqin. We'll close that at year end. I think that'll be the major component of making privates even.
All right, I bought $80,000 worth of Tesla calls today. So that's putting my money where my mouth is.
Larger, and the role of the capital markets even bigger. So we're seeing now private credit becoming more the domain of the capital markets, away from banking and insurance. This is all a part of the growth of the capital markets, and BlackRock's now positioning over the next 5 years of becoming a large-scale player in India. And what we are working on creating a whole new retirement platform in India with our partners Geo. So all of this is just building on the capital markets, and then importantly, when I think about our role, we own a large share of every company in the world in their credit business and in their equity. And so we're perceived as a long-term investor, a partner with all these corporations. We're not this transactional firm going in and out. And so when you think about things that were going on, they're coming to BlackRock both for how can we expand our platform. We announced a few weeks ago our Microsoft MGX.
This is it.
Right.
September 17th.
Right. And, it's about BlackRock helping and playing a role. That also explains.
Larry Fink is brilliant, man. Like, there's a reason this guy's the largest asset manager on earth.
The industrial logic of why we did GIP.
Right, which you just closed.
Which we just
Global
closed.
Infrastructure Partner, adding another $116 billion in assets. That's not part of the...
Not part of the number, no.
But I want to talk private credit.
All right, one sec, guys. I got to show this. This is such a good image. This is something I've got to show you. So one sec, I'm just going to post it and then pull it up on this other screen here. Because this is such a good representation of stupidity, okay? So this is Waymo versus Tesla. This is Waymo versus Tesla. Maybe everybody should be buying Waymo stock. What is that, Google? Some shit? It's just hilarious. It just makes me laugh. People are fucking morons. Yeah, hey, if Palantir's at 44, you should sell it. That sounds great. You should sell it. But yeah, this is real signal right here.
Because you just brought it up, of course, in your initial remarks here. Right now it's been a place where institutional money has largely played, insurers, the asset base there. BlackRock is known for bringing these things to the masses. Is there and are there going to be products where obviously you can't offer the daily liquidity, but where you can get an audience similar to what you've done on the ETF front for public equities? Or Bitcoin.
Right.
And how is that going to evolve? Because I spent a lot of time here talking about the growth of private credit because it's so important.
So, David, I think it's about creating analytics and data in that sector to help investors understand it so we could compare and contrast public and private. Obviously, through that, we broaden the market, and through broadening the market, we create more liquidity.
Which almost makes it like a public market, though, in a sense.
It should be. I think about it when in my early days before BlackRock we created the mortgage-backed securities market. Nobody even wanted to see or hear from me, but each day we try to grow and build something that was very illiquid to something that became one of the largest liquid markets in our capital market. I think this is the evolution of the capital markets. I will tell you, I have more conversations with governments and heads of state about how can we replicate the power of America's capital markets. We're the envy of the world because of the breadth and depth of having a strong banking system. We have the strongest banks in the world, like JP Morgan and Wells, and we have the strongest capital markets.
Right.
And we're able to ebb and weave.
and innovation and military and demographics all around the country are great. And our population is still growing, albeit maybe more than we need with illegal immigration. But we've got so many benefits. We've got the bread belt. We've got all these resources. We've got oceans on either side of us protecting us from war. There's so much going on in America.
Around that, whereas in most places in the world you have maybe a strong banking system and a very weak capital markets, and so if there's a problem there, you don't have that offset.
Or no military, or again, not all the resources. We have everything. We're blessed. We're lucky, man.
But Larry, I feel like we spent all our time here talking largely about the public equity markets, which you haven't even mentioned. I mean,
all right, I do want to interrupt this again real quick too, just to show one other thing that is real signal here, guys. So let me just refresh. It's from Trung Fan. This is a video I couldn't find, so I want to show it to you now because it's here. But let me just expand. This is literally what was shown last night. Oh, hey, guys, we know this is coming out for production this next year, along with unsupervised, autonomous Tesla vehicles for everyone that's already been made here that's got hardware 4, hardware 3, and that's going to be coming out in Texas and parts of California. And this we know is coming out next year.
But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to.
Sorry, this sound's not great.
Buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks. Whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever.
I don't understand how people are acting the way they are about this. I don't get it. What is, like, is this not enough for you people? Is this not enough? He's literally showing this thing replacing all of humanity. I'm just going to let this keep playing in the background here. He's literally showing you how this is going to replace all of us. All the meaningless bullshit things we want to do. I got plants that need help, okay? They don't get a lot of help because I'm spending all my time doing this. They need help. Optimus can do all of that. Whatever. I'm just going to let this play for a second. We'll get back to Larry. Larry's brilliant. We want to hear from him. But again, guys, it's just like find signal. Ignore noise. And thank you to the 500 plus people that are here, by the way. I might sound like a tyrant. I'm not that bad of a person. Some of these people could attest. I've made 600% last year. I plan on making 100% in returns across my portfolio this year and having $6.5 million to $7 million in my investment account. If you like the thesis of that and you want to see how I can make that happen, or just be here to kick me in the nuts if for some reason I don't do it right away by January 1st, please join. Join in whatever way you want. You don't even have to pay for stuff. If you don't like commenting, you can watch everything I do for free, except for maybe my trades. I don't post those anymore for free. You're either in the Discord or on X, so you'd have to put out a whole $5 if you wanted to know all the stuff I'm doing, right? But outside of that, all my theses, even on this live stream, I literally just said, hey, I'm doing this, and I'm sold 80,000, or I sold 80,000, and I bought 80,000 in calls. So you already know what I'm doing, and then I share which ones they're in. So for people who like transparency, for people who like honesty, for people who like people who go against the narrative of whatever today might be, based upon emotional price action, and people not getting the dates they needed because they're too, like, maybe they're just not knowledgeable enough and don't understand what they're looking at, man. Why is Palantir running? Because it's in a parabolic mode, like I said yesterday, the day before that, a week before that. I mean, that hasn't changed, right? Why isn't Tesla running is the real question. Palantir is just touching up against its previous high. That's what it's doing. If we just clean this up, simplify it, shrink this up over here. Oh, I gotta buy more Tesla. If people are going to be this fucking retarded, I got to buy more. But yeah, so we could even have a parabolic blast. Maybe it doubles from here. Maybe Palantir doubles. I don't give a shit. I want the thing that's going to just go up like crazy for a long time and that doesn't have conditions on the weekly time frame of the most overbought it's ever been on the weekly time frame in the history of the company that started back in September of 2020, or the highest levels and overbought almost in the 80s range, which historically up for almost any asset on a monthly time frame is the absolute worst time to buy. But hey, man, you do you, guys. You do you. You buy all the Palantir. Don't sell it all. Just ride it up. Expect it to do amazing things for the next year. And then when the reality of technicals eventually start to pull it down, you can enjoy the benefit of learning a new lesson. That is perfectly acceptable. I hope everybody gets that lesson that needs it.
And you know, Mark Rowan and I sat down a few weeks ago. He said it many times. He'll keep saying it. 4,000 public companies versus 8,000.
Sorry, some of those Tesla videos just had crazy low volume. And so that when I get back to other stuff, it blows it out. I'm trying to control that and moderate it. If anybody knows programs that tie in with OBS that in real time can take source feeds and normalize them, please let me know. I don't know of a way to do that, but if you guys know of one, that would be awesome, because volume is like one of the hardest things to control when you're doing stuff like this.
A few years ago, the fact that, I don't know, 35-40% of the S&P is basically 7 companies. What about the public equity markets? They suffer while these private markets grow?
I think, well, look at the capitalization of our public markets. They're certainly not suffering. They're actually growing. I think I'm not frightened of this 4,000 versus 8,000, because I think what we're witnessing is scale brings on more scale. I think if you think of the power of what AI is going to do and how it's going to transform. I mean, right now, if you think about venture capital, AI right now appears to be the domain of these 5 hyperscalers plus NVIDIA. It is not the domain of venture capital. So we're witnessing a transformation of scaling. Scaling becomes, you're able to keep costs down, you're able to expand. So I'm not worried about only having 4,000 companies, because the reality is we have some of the greatest companies in the world that are expanding and then providing more services and more things. When I think about, the power of, let's say, Chubb as an insurance company, I mean, what...
All right, so I bought 115,000 in Tesla options this morning.
What they have done in expanding their presence globally, and
now Nerd Shock, I totally can understand that. And here's the thing: I don't think it's the final van. I think that the van is more like, think of it as a small bus in a city to transport 20 people. It's not necessarily the one you're going to ride around in with your friends. I think they could still do like a 10-seater or 9-seater at least. That is that van, like the Cybertruck one that I've talked about so many times. And let me just show you. It's got to be in here. Micro to macro. I know I've pulled it up a few times. Oh, that's not the way to do it. Macro. And then Cyber van. Let me see if I can find it here. But like this, I still think that we could see something. That's not it. Cyber van. Oh, that's my Cybertruck. Right here. I still think we could see something like this. I just don't think it's going to happen right away. Yeah, it's a minibus. Seedless is right. It's a minibus, not a van. They just called it the cyber van, but it's not really a van. It's like a transport that you'd have in big cities. That's what it is. It's just to get rid of the traditional bus system. They're replacing buses, guys. But this, I still think, is a product, and I would buy this wholeheartedly. I would be so excited for something like this. I think it's much more beautiful than the Cybertruck. Just because of the fact that you get rid of the crazy angle going down in the back. And I think it's incredibly functional, and I would love to see this. I would love to see this kind of vehicle be made. I would love to see it. Palantir is doing legendary shit. I'm not going to talk about Palantir. I'm not going to. I love the company. I love Alex Karp. But focusing on Palantir doing legendary shit is the worst fucking thing you can do right now. It's the worst thing. From an investment standpoint, it's the worst. And so I'm not going to talk about it. All right, let's keep going.
So, I think that's what the whole M&A market is about. It's.
Are we pushing 600 people in here? This is getting nuts, guys. Thank you so much, okay?
Bringing these companies together, and the successful integrated companies are the ones that are benefiting, and we have a stronger...
Yeah, you've already got that. Yeah, there's no point in making a 4-seat cybercab when you have the 3, the S, the X, and the Y already fitting 4+ seats, right? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do something like that. The Cybercab is a 2-seater. It's made for individuals or maybe like young women at night after the bar want to go home. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are you going to get in a Cybercab where you're safe and secure and this thing can drive you around, and you don't have to worry about getting harassed or have somebody try and assault you physically because you're too good looking and wearing too good of a skirt. You're not going to want that, right? You're going to want a vehicle where you can get in on your own and feel protected and safe and relax. Maybe you're hungover, maybe you drank too much, and you just want to get in this thing and have it take you home to where you can be safe. And then Optimus opens the door for you and makes sure you get in the house. So it's amazing.
Capital markets with fewer public companies.
And again, nobody will be able to say, I don't put my money where my mouth is. I bought $115,000 worth of Tesla options today, okay? $115,000.
I don't look at that as a problem. I look at that as a plus. At the same time, we will see as more and more private companies have more and more access to private capital.
They're never going to go public.
No, I would say the opposite. One day they are going to go public because they're going to want to expand the ownership beyond the few. And that's what BlackRock did 25 years ago. I mean, we only had a number of partners, and when we did our IPO, everybody got shares, all the main leaders of the firm. So I don't see that as an outcome. I see this as a natural evolution. I think what we are seeing, though, because you do have access, in the short run, you are delaying when you go public. But the reality is, when you go public, you're a larger cap company.
Yeah.
And so what we're witnessing now, when when BlackRock did its IPO, I mean.
You know what's funny? I own more Tesla options now than I did originally when I was telling everybody to buy this thing the last time 6 months ago. They're down about 24% on the day today. I bought an extra 115,000. I have 207 contracts now. So that is 12 more contracts than I've ever had, and I cashed out $500,000 in these, and I'm still up on this screen today, just in these, and then including my other ones. On my active contracts, I'm up about $250,000 in Tesla. And I parsed off $500,000 on it already. And my cost basis is about $750,000 on the things that I still have, which is insane. Insane. So now I have more than I ever had. I guess the $14 million bet is still on.
We did it. Our market cap was $1 billion I think it was 980 to be specific. And now what are we, 145 billion or whatever it is?
So that's a great point, and it's got talked about a lot this week, this delaying effect, right? But are you then arguing that the IPO market long-term gets more stable?
And also for the people that are here, I sold basically all my MSTX that I made a fortune off of. It's up 35% since last week when I bought it. I made, I think it was $50,000 to $60,000 off of that. I've liquidated all of that. Because this is a 1.7x, 75x play. MicroStrategy could still go up. I don't give a shit. I'm taking calls from Tesla down 25% on the day from something I just went up another 10% on today. And I sold a bunch of that, and I sold a decent amount of BITX too. Still have a 27,000 in that. But again, I put over $500,000 into this stuff, so I made so much. I'm making the moves where I take profits and then I moved them into the things I should. And then I benefited really great from MSTX, really great from BITX, and now I'm reapplying that into areas where I can do really well. And the future. I'm looking towards the future. I'm not stuck in the past. You learn from the past, and I'm not just in the current moment where there's a negative narrative. I'm realizing that, but I'm thinking about the future, and then I'm acting now. This is how you're a good long-term investor. You say, is this company fundamentally sound? Is the macro still in great shape to where we're going to see expansion of the, well, I shouldn't say this, not in great shape, but we're going to see expansion of global liquidity where we're going to see a bunch of money printing and assets go up? Yes. Are the financials still great on Tesla, especially compared to their competition? Yes. Is this thing still asymmetric and growing in 20 directions at once? Yes. Is it hard for people to understand because they're stuck in narratives that are inaccurate and they don't even know the robot's talking today? Yes. Buy. That's simple. Is this thing up 1,300% in the last 5 years? Yes. Buy. That's simple.
New issues are more stable and hence, I don't know, less risky?
Well, I don't think IPOs are that risky, depending on the companies that are coming there. I don't think there is a less risky time or a more ebullient time. I think it's.
Why is Uber up 7.9%? Because of narratives and stupidity. That's why. Why is Tesla down 8.34%? That doesn't make any sense. People are saying that, oh, obviously Uber's going to be fine now and going to do really great. Don't get me wrong, their financials aren't horrible, but they're literally driving down a chasm of death and destruction, and it is their own. So why not buy the stock today?
The quality of the company that's going public will determine that. But I do believe there's.
I don't think it matters. I don't even know that support is broken. It's got to close broken. Could it? There's a 3-day rule, right? So for people who don't know it, after a major event or like earnings or things like that, well, and it really applies to earnings. It applies less to these events. These events can turn around a lot quicker. I should differentiate. So the 3-day rule applies to earnings. There's basically times where there's like blackout periods. There's times where they can't buy back their stocks. There's times where all these things happen around earnings, right? So you generally wait 3 days before you start buying. Like that's the golden rule. But product launches like this, the bottom is probably today. It's probably today because there's no justifiable reason for it. We didn't have the run up that we were supposed to have. It doesn't make any sense at all. And when things don't make sense, you lean into them. And could it be longer than that? Yes, but I've already said this a bunch of times. And this isn't even broken. To be clear, this isn't broken. If you look right here, look at where we are. Look at the gap that we had here. So we took what should have been strong support and should have been a bounce out of this. People perceived things incorrectly for what happened yesterday. And now we're down here into this zone where we're hitting strong volume profiles. I'd say this is the bottom. I would say this is the bottom right here. Look at the gap we had here in volumes. This is the bottom. Could it go down to 200? Maybe. But there's people that think it won't even hold that. And that's just the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Look at this. Let's take out all the other noise with the RSI and MACD. Look at the volume down here at $200. For the entirety of this company, look at the volume we have at 200. Look at the volume we have at 183. There's people that think we're going to go under that. Can we get to 200? Sure. Stupid shit happens. How much are we down today on Tesla? 20 points? So another day like today, and literally Tesla would be at what I believe to be the strongest long-term resistance this company has. And it wouldn't even necessarily invalidate, at $200, it wouldn't invalidate the left or the right shoulder. It would still leave that pattern intact. So is the cup and handle screwed? Yes, the cup and handle is gone. The short-term move is gone. But the big one is still here, and that's all I care about. All I care about are the fundamentals. The technicals is the weakest part of any argument, unless it's over longer time frames. And this one is still solid. Could we even close back up by 234 today or Monday? Yes, I think that's likely. By Monday at the latest. That's my take.
You're going to see great private companies that are going to want to go public and want to expand. I mean, it's hard as a private company to do M&A, and if you believe that your moat can get larger, you can expand globally better, you're going to go public in doing that. I mean, I do believe the way we've used our public equity.
Fuck it, I'm selling all my BITX and buying more. I don't care. I got other things I can sell.
I mean,
let's get this bitch to 140, 150.
Back in 2004, before we started expanding through inorganic opportunity, we were a bond manager. And we took that to expand. Milim was our first big, giant one where we expanded globally, and then obviously BGI, but even eFront and Aperio, all these different transactions, and now Preqin and GIP. So all of these are just a part of it. But I mean, think about what we did. So we added $2 trillion organically over the last 5 years. $2 trillion is equivalent to being the sixth largest asset manager, and that was all organic over the last 5 years. And so I think it's the breadth and depth of what we're building in terms of
$140,000 in Tesla options today.
Whether it's active flows or ETF flows, private markets, public markets, digital products, and on and on. And I'm very pleased with how we are doing this and the breadth of our growth.
Now, I do want to talk, we all agree capital markets largely going to replace the banking market, but I want to worry about something else. I need your advice. I see the government, the Justice Department, going after Google, one of the finest companies in the world. They're going after Apple, one of the greatest companies in the world. FTC going after Amazon, a great equalizer. Is the government a force of good or bad right here?
I'm not in agreement with the government. They may have more knowledge than I do, so I can't speak about the specifics. But at the same time, we say that we have a competitive advantage right now against China. And the key is about our relative strength in technology. And it seems odd at the same time, we're becoming more and more dependent on our technologies. And we're now talking about breaking up these technology companies. It doesn't feel consistent to me. But I don't know the intricacies that the Justice Department is looking at. But
theoretically.
And importantly, though, breaking up
hey,
a company
T-Rex,
may
what's up,
not
buddy?
be a
All right, real quick. Almost 600 people. I'm actually blown away by how many people here, guys. If you could be gracious enough to hit the like, I really appreciate all of you. It's hard being a social media person. I've only been doing it like a year, not even, right? So, yeah, not even a year since I started my YouTube channel. It's not even a year. I've been on X now for a little over a year and a half and have grown to 62,000 almost people. Is it almost? I don't even know anymore. And now I have over 2,400, almost 2,500 people that subscribe to me on X, Discord, and in YouTube. And it's mind blowing, but it's hard doing this stuff because the masses move with emotion. And it's hard being the counter to that. I can see why people like me, Kevin, crack, right? I'm not going to do that. But I can see why people do. And so it's so awesome to have the support of the 570, almost 600 people here. I am appreciative of that. I might be a tyrant sometimes. I might be very loud and outspoken, but I do appreciate your guys' support in all of this. We're going to listen to Larry Fink. We got some more talk here on Tesla that I want to hear. And we'll keep going from there. If you guys have other news events too, again, this is a collective. I might get a little angry sometimes. What options am I playing? I post them all the time, but here, I'll show you. Here's what I got. That's not the right screen. I don't like to show my account number. Give me 1 second here. I'll show you just like the general screen here, okay? Just give me a second. I do this every day, guys. Market open, market recap. Market recap is more about if you guys if you guys are paying here on YouTube as a customer for at least $2, you get the ability to be able to talk to me and ask about stock requests in the afternoon. That's a big push in the afternoon, is looking at stocks. The Discord gives you all the historical data. Oh, dude, we have the 9 o'clock data. 1 sec, guys. 1 sec. These are the calls. 1 second. Let me go back. We're gonna jump out of Think. We can always get back, okay?
Expectations.
1 second here.
As Blackwell chip yesterday, but shares fell 4%, and the stock's on pace for its worst week in a month.
Meantime, markets coming off of the opening highs as UMISH hits. Let's get to Rick Santelli.
All right, we're going to listen to Rick, but I can do it faster. So, actual for Michigan consumer sentiment was lower than expected at 68.8. It was expected, consensus 70.8, forecast 70.4. 5-year inflation expectations, 3%. Forecast at 3.1, lower than expected. We kind of like that, right? Michigan consumer consumer expectations prelim October, 72.9, was 74.5, and 75 consensus. What does that look like for trend? It looks like we're still in a nice little bounce back zone and an upward trend that started since July of 2022. So that's all good. That's good news. That's fine. Michigan 5-year inflation expectation, 0.1% lower than forecast. No, that was the other one. Sorry. Michigan current conditions preliminary, 62.7 versus 63.8 and 64.4 or 64.3. So let's look over here. So again, we've taken a dump in expectations here and are climbing, not at a super fast rate, but climbing. Now, what's very current economic conditions, I should say. What's very interesting about this is these are the worst levels, worse than we saw in 2008, worse than the dot-com bubble, worse than the bottom in the 1980 range. These are literally the worst conditions anybody has ever experienced, evidently. So the chance for these to turn around and become positive, I think, is really high. Michigan inflation expectations, preliminary for October, 2.9, where they expected them at 2.6. I don't care. We're in the twos. What does it fucking matter? This is literally, look at this. What does this even matter? So all this data is good. Let's listen to Rick Santelli talk, or I'm sorry. Yeah, let's listen to Rick talk about it here.
Hey, Rick.
Hi, yes, Carl. We have October preliminary glance at University of Michigan sentiment. Expecting a headline number to be around 71, comes in light, 68.9. That's the weakest level of headline sentiment going back to just August of this year. But what's fascinating is last month at 70.1, well, that was the best since April of 24. So we're going in the wrong direction there. In terms of current conditions, 62.7, that's less than expectations, the lightest since August, and that was the best since June, last month at 63.3. What may lie ahead? Expectations, 72.9, also deficient in terms of expectations, sequentially below the 74.4, and 72 point rates didn't move much on those. Maybe they will. I do think that the
and also better than
7 in a row, trading higher than previous days' highs. We need to see 412 and beyond. Sarah, back to you.
Yeah, it's that curve steepening. Thank you, Rick.
All right, real quickly, I want to see something super fast. They're going to be talking about Tesla in a second, so I want to see that. But here's what I want to look at. I want to look at a few things, okay? Let's look at the CNN Fear and Greed Index today. We'll look at the indices again, see how they're performing. So Fear and Greed Index, scrolling down here, still near extreme greed. So we talked about this for a while. We can grind in this zone. We have been grinding in this zone. If we look at the longer time frames under macro, micro, not to be confused with me, because I'm micro to macro. This is macro, micro. Totally different thing. If we look over here, we can see how the S&P's been climbing. We can see how we are in that strong, that fear range. Oh, God. I need to subscribe to this again, at least in the monthly service. So you can see where we're in that greed range. I'm sorry, up here. That's interesting. It looks like we got a CFO from JP Morgan too. We'll have to listen to that as well. But look at this. Look at how deep we were though in the oversold and like meh range before we launched here. So we were pretty strongly oversold. Now we're getting up here in our greed. Now we're not even in extreme greed yet. So we can go up for a bit, but also things can pull us down. And let's see how the crypto fear and greed is doing. It is at 32. That is beautiful. That can still launch. Let's see how our CME Fed Watch tool, let's see what it's saying about rates and whether or not they're changing. So we still have an 82% chance of getting a 25 bip rate cut in November, just like we expect. That's what's happening. December, we have another 81% chance of getting another 25 bip on top of it. This is perfect, okay? This is all perfect. This is great. This is what we want. All right, let's get back over here. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to zoom past Rick here. I want to see what they're saying about. Yeah, again. Oh, here we go. I want to hear this. This is what I want to hear.
So that's kind of supportive for those of your.
Even though we've been following these bank conference calls. So far, the consumer commentary has actually been strong.
Yeah, dude, my crypto investments have done really well today. And they're continuing to climb. This stuff hasn't settled yet, so some of the stuff hasn't rebalanced. But PayPal's up 27K. I'm getting close to profitability on that again, which is great. Again, it's been my worst investment over time. And CleanSpark's up. Hood's up. Again, I was buying Hood. I was buying these things, right? I bought more of these things, and now they're doing well because I play counter to narratives. Iron's up. I was buying Iron, right? So I'm making a bunch of money off of that too. Mara, all these things are going up, the things that we were buying, and so that's great. That's going to really offset a lot.
Strong and quite bullish. Here's what the JP Morgan CFO said.
We're pretty much in the trough right now as we speak. When you look at yield-seeking behavior, that has come down quite a bit. So that's no longer as much of a headwind, all else being equal. And then if you look at checking account balances, those have been pretty stable for some time, which we see as an indication that consumers are kind of done spending down their cash buffers. So that's kind of supportive for consumer deposit balances.
And then Wells Fargo, here's a chart.
And again, all of the banks outperformed, guys. All of the banks had better earnings than expected. And thank you, Kyle, for the 10 memberships, man. All of you guys, everything you contribute. I really, really appreciate you, okay? Especially the diehards that are in here, that are in Discord. You guys are fucking awesome. And I owe you. And I appreciate you. And I'll work hard for you over the next year and a half so that we can all make a bunch of money and have a lot more time. And then we'll start doing things like going to a Bees or wherever and having really cool fucking meetups, okay? That's what we're going to work towards.
Of the Wells Fargo debit card purchase volume and transaction, and it looks stable. We're going to talk to Mike Santomassimo, the CFO, in the next hour about what they're seeing from the consumer. But if you look at the volumes and the transactions, looks okay.
Oh, hey, consumers are spending. Who knew? Earnings are some of the best we've ever seen. Who knew? A lot of data points are really great. We watched that in some of the videos where we were listening to some analysts like this Max guy that was just great. Who knew? Who knew all these things, right? Who knew all these things? So, again, find signal. Don't get stuck in the past. Don't get stuck in narratives. So many people get stuck in narratives. So many people let other people dictate what emotional direction they're in. And I know which way I am.
It does. It does. And it is worth pointing out, our viewers just saw.
And I might seem like an emotional basket case, but I'm actually not.
Of course, JP Morgan stock has had a nice little move here. The call began at 8:30.
I like the idea, Dennis, of an M2M summit. Hell yeah, bro. We're going to do that.
30. Obviously, some positive things as you take a look at Sarah's sort of macro picture on consumer spending. But I did want to point out both Wells and JPM up sharply now.
Oh, yeah, just the best consumer spending quarter in recent history, maybe ever. I don't know. I don't have a long-term chart on this by quarter. But best ever. Best ever.
Now, responding to what were good numbers, both as a result of net interest income and also at JP Morgan, some comments perhaps on expenses. I know we're going to have more on that in a bit later, Sarah.
Yeah, we'll get an update on the conference call. I just wanted to juxtapose it, though, with what we heard some commentary from the CEO of McDonald's warning about 2025.
Yeah, it is.
Not so hot. He said, we're starting to talk about 2025, and my message to our teams has been, we need to be preparing for another challenging year.
I agree with that, but it's not until the end of the year. You have to think about global liquidity. You have to look at the setup of the presidential election. You have to look at what they're promising. You have to look at the Bitcoin cycle. You have to look at what happens after Bitcoin halving in this cycle. You have to look at consumer spending. You have to look at inflation coming down. You have to look at every central bank pretty much in the world outside of like India right now, lowering rates, juicing economies by creating more lending, which is making up debt, which is really just making up money that people can spend. Okay, and that's just some of it. So you can't be bearish heading into next year. You can't be. You can be, but that's not a good way to make money.
You know, they've got that $5 value menu. So consumers.
I'll settle for a barbecue, says Mr. Monkey. Yeah, but it better be some good meat, man, because when everybody here is becoming millionaires, we're gonna have to have some good food. A lot of Wagyu up in here. Sorry, if you're a little cow, I'm sorry.
It's not, you know, a monolith. So if you really do cater to the low-income consumer, the value-seeking consumer, it's a different picture than what we're getting from some of this macro data overall, which is why the anecdotes are so important.
Yeah, Cole, I'm not going to go into it again. I've already done that a bunch already, and I've already like blocked a couple of people. But they delayed it. It's more than really cool, and maybe go back and watch it again. Watch this video again if you need. And if you still don't see that, whatever. That's just like some people don't see things. I get it. But the fact they delayed it and hyped it too much, that's just not real. What happened last night was amazing. They did give dates. They've given us dates for a lot of things. I've already repeated this a bunch of times. Not going to do it again. But people's perception and reality are different things. Okay, that's what I'll say. And some people see the future. Some people listen to signal. Other people listen to short-term price action and noise and are driven by emotional headlines. And that's not me.
And why the Fed does pay close attention to things like the Beige Book.
Great piece in the Journal. After years of increases, companies are rolling back prices.
Shale says, what about Direxion daily TSLA bull 2X shares? I don't know. I don't trade those. I've just got clear options contracts. I mean, right now would be a great time to buy those, honestly, in my opinion. I think we're near the bottom of Tesla. And whether it's another 7-8%, I don't give a shit. I really don't fucking care. We're near the bottom of it, and this is one of the best times that you'll have to be able to buy. So I don't know if that's the best one to get in, but man, maybe it is. And I would personally be buying, not financial advice, of course, but that's what I did today. I bought $140,000 worth of options. So you can kind of tell I'm interested, right?
They talk about IKEA cutting global prices 10% this year, the biggest annual price decrease in the history of IKEA. They point to other companies, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Pepsi, Delta, all talk.
Yeah, to me, there is no middle ground, Matt. There is no middle ground for Tesla because what they're doing is amazing, and the ramp that we're going to see. Because again, I'm looking at a lot of things. I'm looking at macro, I'm looking at fundamentals, I'm looking at financials, and I'm looking at the technicals. And when I add those up, there is no fucking middle ground on Tesla. You need to be buying right now. That's what I'm doing, okay? And you don't need to, but there is no middle ground. The argument should lean towards the bullish because of the setup and everything that is true. And I care about truth. And that's how I make money in the future. Truth and understanding what's coming next. Not necessarily in a 24-hour period. Again, I know people love to get caught up in this stuff, but here's what people that want to find the middle ground on Tesla, this is what they're focused on the left. And people that are bears, this is what they're focused on the left. People that are buying Uber, this is what they're focused on the left. People that are buying Palantir right now, this is what they're focused on the left, okay? On the right, company fundamentals, market value, and market value covers a lot because, again, you're looking at sectors, you're looking at financials, you're looking at what's coming down the pipeline, you're looking at what's happening in the macro. Is it going to be conducive to what's happening for this particular market? You're looking at everything, right? But this is where people get lost right here. This is where Meet Kevin is all the time on the left. This is Meet Kevin. This is Jim Cramer. Over here, this is what people who actually make money are doing. This is what the people that are getting richer by the day are doing. They have visions that span years, decades, like Elon Musk, and they're the ones that benefit the most. And then the other stuff is just noise.
Talking about we're getting more promotional. We have to be.
They have to be because they're responding to the consumer, which is being more choiceful and more value-seeking. And it's also good news on the inflation side that we're going to see prices decline all the way. You know, the last piece of consumer data I just wanted to share comes from, we do this NRF retail monitor with CNBC with the National.
I'm tired of trying to convince people of stuff. I'm probably going to take off early this morning. So, again, I appreciate you guys. I need a break. I only got like 4 hours sleep. I wanted to make sure that I got the message out there that what people are saying and the narrative that's out there is bullshit. Whether people believe that or not is not my problem. But and then let you know what I was doing, which is buying a shit ton because this is a company I believe in. This is where I'm going to make a bunch of money in the future. And the option contracts I bought today probably average about 35.50, something like that. And it looks like they're 35.80. Let me actually see if they're higher than that. I think they will be. Can't really see here, but yeah, they're already 36.60 on the low. So they're going to keep going up. With these options, when you have big moves like this, you have a limited amount of time to get into them. That time has probably already passed. I did it. And now the rest of the day, it's going to go up. Next week, it's going to go up. So it is what it is. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I think I'm going to have to go out on this video right here because not enough people understand that talking robots from the most innovative company on earth with everything they're doing with autonomy and being a half a decade ahead of everybody else on the planet isn't evidently enough. So we're going to feed it to you until you get it. Peace out. See you guys.
Optimus, the robotic humanoid under development by Elon Musk's Tesla Inc., is sparking concerns around job security.
This is not financial advice, silly.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Turned up to work and went to start my day. Was barely late, like 9:08. So took my coffee break. Then I got hungry, so I just stopped by the free buffet. But then to my dismay, I heard somebody say, "Attention humans, you have lost, you have not met your quota. Pack your belongings in a box, now it's over." Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. But I'm in management. I work hard every day. I need these benefits, health and 401k. How could they do this shit though? Where will I trade my crypto? I had a second monitor for Twitter. Where will it go? Somebody please stop the bus. I mean, not the fuss, but there's lots of us. And now you say you won't pay me to play ping pong because Optimus. I mean, who employs a damn humanoid? Some new droid for you to exploit, deploy to destroy your human droid. No lunch breaks, great, get a few deployed. time is up, human inferior to me. I'll take it from here, get relieved of your duty. Robot just stole my job, I'm there like oh my god. I blame it on Elon, he's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job, I'm there like oh my god. I blame it on Elon, he's taking all I got. It's okay, human, please don't cry. You can always go and become a Twitter thread guy. Make pretty pictures with Midjourney on your new PC, or make some YouTube videos about ChatGPT. Sucker. Robot just stole my job, I'm there like oh my god. I blame it on Elon, he's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job, I'm there like oh my god. I blame it on Elon, he's taking all I got.
I mean, I didn't even write this song, I just